What's good, First Smoke family? Today we got a super special episode for you guys with Proper Doinks. These guys know their smoke, and specifically, they know how it smokes. They're spreading a lot of education for consumers around the world that want to experience cannabis at the highest levels. So make sure you stay tuned. Watch this one till the end, and Blackley's going to give you a word from our sponsors.
If you want to get hooked up with any of our sponsors, Drip Hydro, Grow Generation, Faven Under Canopy Lighting, and then Smokables, Dr. Dabber, Elements Rolling Papers, all you have to do is go to fsotd.com for Smoke of the Day and access the brand new codes that get you hooked up with all of our current sponsors. This one gets smoky.
We met in Sacramento. He's like, I just left the office, I'm already home. I'm like, where do you live? And he was like, Fairfield. I'm like, I live in Fairfield. Where do you live at? And he sends me his address. Lives 12 houses down from me.
He comes over, we're smoking, and I've been fucked up ever since. At a certain point, we're spending so much fucking money that we're like, okay, we gotta make sure this shit is actually good.
Me being a single dad, I don't have a ton of money to blow on weed, right? It sucks when you go out and spend $450 on an ounce and it's shitty. And I got past smoking weed to get high a long time ago. I smoked for an experience.
Is there a page anywhere on the internet that's just like keeping it so fucking real? And we couldn't find it. And that's what we decided to try to be, was like the one stamp, the one brand that like you could actually trust it with your hard-earned money or to save your money.
Our goal with the show is to become like the Michelin star of cannabis eventually. We got a long way to go.
Really showcasing excellence and recognizing greatness.
Completely non-biased, just this is fire, this is an amazing place to spend your money.
It's not a drug to us. It's like a fine delicacy.
Hey, what's good, everybody? We're back again with another one. It's First Smoke of the Day. It's your boy Pat God's in the building here with Black Leaf.
Rolling
and today
up.
we got a big one. Big one. The Proper Doinks boys in the building.
Appreciate
what's good?
you. Shit,
What's
man.
cracking?
Glad to be here, man. Thank you for having us, man.
We've been chopping it up. We've been talking since you guys walked up. Straight nonstop.
Honestly.
We got a lot to talk about.
I just looked back actually at the DMs and seen like our original first conversation when you guys were in SAC for a second. It's a trip. Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, we love what you guys do, and we love, just anybody that's making content and putting shit out consistently has respect for that game, and it's like just another game, and another business, right? But and to do it for cannabis is even another thing, right? So it's dope what you guys do, and just to see you guys like passionate, and obviously you're doing it for passion. Everyone's doing this shit.
We're just some cussies that took it too far. Really.
It's good though, and people need, more and more people, consumers need education. So, and there's not much out there. That's what started this show.
Yeah,
it's COVID, and I had the idea long before that, but it was like once I saw COVID, once I consumed most of the content that was out there, I realized, damn, there's not a lot of content.
Big gap.
Yeah.
At least for like people that are really smoking like for the smoke.
Or just like,
you know what I mean?
Want to learn about the culture, or, what is good? What is the good stuff?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. The good stuff. And then the actual,
if you're on the East
stuff,
Coast or anywhere really, like out of country for sure, what they like, we talked about this, earlier is, perception.
Yeah.
Like what they perceive as good. People hit us up all the time and they're like, yo, I'm trying this from this brand. You guys just did an episode with them. Thanks for putting me on.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how much like better my smoke is now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Most common message.
Yeah. And it's like, we didn't directly do anything, but introduce them to something like, hey, look, check it out.
Yeah. That's really it. Just trying to create a
guidebook of like, yo, what is out there? What is going on?
Yeah. Because what the fuck are, you're actually a grower, so you're at but what the fuck are we all doing besides trying to find the best weed really at the end of the day and put a spotlight on it? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. If you've been smoking for a long period of time, your standards are going to go up just like with anything.
Smoking with intent too.
Yeah.
Not just smoking to get high, but smoking to observe what you're smoking. Like, all right, you get two things for head sash. It starts there. Which one am I smoking more of and why?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then it just gets out of hand once you start paying attention to all the little shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think there's a switch in gears too when you we all, you know, I'm sure we all grew up fucking smoking Bammer, right? You know what I'm saying? Smoking some Reggie, you know, everybody did. Anybody who tells you they didn't fucking is lying, right? So we all did, right? And I think what happens is one day you have an experience like you've never had before. And I'm not talking about the high. I'm talking about the experience of the consumption. While you're consuming this certain plant that you're consuming, you're going, I've never tasted flavor so pure. I've never smoked something so smooth. Once you have that, you can't go back and the hunt's on. And then you're just like, all right, well, now I got to find this anywhere. And if you're like us and you're not a grower, right? We're degenerates in the grow room. We've tried it. We can't do it. We suck.
I wouldn't smoke none of my weed.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't either. So my biggest thing is like when you're that guy, it's like now you're hunting for it from other people. And so you're looking for that unicorn that we would call it, you know, that one thing that got away. And that's where the journey starts, dude.
Yeah, it definitely starts.
And honestly, most consumers are on like from a 1 to 10, they're on like a 1.
Yeah.
Straight up, bro. And it's hard to say because you sound like a dick.
Yeah.
But if you're actually
it's
talking about
legit
reality,
though, because
it's
like I have siblings and stuff. Like my sister smokes and like, you know, she's late 20s, and you know, not to say she doesn't know what good weed is, she does, but like the standards are different, the access is different, the education is different.
Yeah.
But she's been around us a little more now, and like she knows now, and it's like picky. It's funny to see the change, you know what I mean? And that's in anybody.
Yeah.
You know? Because now markets are going, you know, they got the medical market out there now. Like there's other markets now. Access is, you know, improving, right? So
that was me before I met him, bro. I thought I was the shit, bro. This is when ice cream cake first came out, right? When I met him. And I thought I knew what fire weed was legitimately, dude. Got humbled. I pulled up with some fucking ice cream cake. He pulled up with some, like the first batch RS11. And like a couple hits in, I put my shit down. I was like, all right, bro, talk to me. What's going on? What the fuck is that? Okay. Because I never tried nothing like that in my life. And weed isn't supposed to feel like that, dude. So what'd you put in there, you know? And then from then on, dude, like fuck, quickly, I damn near became more picky, right? Once I knew that was possible, I was chasing that ever since.
Yeah.
And then I just became the pickiest son of a bitch ever, dude. And slowly developed a palate. Because before it was just frosty, what gets you high, like hopefully it doesn't go out, you know what I mean? But it's got to look good, smell good, you know what I mean? And the new flashing of the bag appeal and the nose and check under the turkey is the oil ring and the ash, which is another fucked up thing, you know what I mean? Went the wrong fucking direction there.
Because it's a little manipulative.
Yeah.
People always figure out a way to fake the funk.
Yeah, and it can be a false representation.
Yeah.
And so
especially nowadays when people are trying to get the white ash. At first, if you got white ash, it wasn't because you were trying to get white ash.
It's because you achieved something.
Something was right. And it did taste amazing. And it didn't taste like chalk. And it was smooth and not hot and minerally and shit. And so like what happened is on our page, you would see just a bunch of fucking white ash and oil rings when we're talking about flavor and smoothness, just by coincidence. Not because we're stoked on the white ash, but it just happens to be white.
Yeah.
Now, dude, everything looks like that, and barely anybody even has flavor left. Even some of the people that were putting out heat back then, now that's even getting towards like they're trying to make their ashes even whiter than they fucking were. And it's like, bro, don't change anything. And it was fire.
Well, because it's a bunch of boxes. So let's get into that, right? Is there a correlation between good weed and white ash?
Yes, 150%.
And can you explain a little bit about this? Because I try to explain it as there's a bunch of check boxes and it's one amongst many.
Yeah,
but
that's perfect.
Could you go ahead?
2 minutes?
Yeah.
2 minutes? You're going quick. You're talking quick then.
Yeah. We got the elevator pitch down. Basically, I've never in my life, and I'll fucking pay somebody $2,000 if they could bring this to me. I've never in my life had any good weed that was dark ash, not even just black, but dark ash ever. But I've had a shit ton of garbage white ash weed. So there's like a correlation one way, but not the other. So it's like, I've never had something, all the best shit I've had was bone white, but I've also had really good shit that was a little peppery. And then good, maybe not really good, but good shit that was a little more peppery. So I think like the darker it is, my theory, because I don't know shit at the end of the day, my theory is oil doesn't burn white, it burns black. So if that cherry wasn't strong enough to lift the oil out of the plant material in the form of vapor, like unfucked up and seared and burnt, then you'll get that full flavor, the full medicinal benefit, etc. But if the cherry is not burning strong enough to lift out all that oil, it'll come along and burn it into the plant, and then you'll have ashes that are black that you can't even fake and torch out because they just stay black because you burnt oil into the ash.
It's literally carcinogenic at that point.
You know, it tastes like burnt oil. It feels like burnt oil. So the same strain if it's burning cleaner, even just with a different lighter, same batch even, if it's burning cleaner, it's going to taste cleaner and it's going to feel cleaner. If it's burning a little bit more peppery, you're going to be able to taste and feel that also within the same weed. You know what I mean? Batch to batch, same batch, whatever. So yeah, I think huge correlation.
Yeah. And it's something that we notice every time. And that's why we talk about it a lot. You know, we'll be on a show and something will be close, right? It will be a neck and neck duel. And then as one starts to kind of take the lead, maybe 50% through the doink, we'll look, or maybe it's opposite. Maybe one starts to win after a certain point and we'll look and be like, and what do you know? Look it, and we'll get the doink cam in. It's like the ash has pitched. So whatever oil or whatever moisture, whatever was in there in the beginning that was making it less enjoyable than this one has now been removed. And now it's the ash is pitching white and it's smoking better.
It's smoother,
like, so
it's more pure,
it's like, you know, you go to the beach at 5 o'clock every day and notice that the waves are higher than other times. You're going to finally realize, well, maybe it's high tide, you know? It's just a coincidence over and over and over again. It's like, it's undeniable.
Coincidence the other way.
Yeah, I've never had it. Yeah, the other way.
And the growers can argue on if it's flush, if it's not flush, whatever makes it. But there is a correlation between when you roll something up properly and it's ground properly. We're talking, you know, just like you would in a scientific method, you have your stable parts, right? It's all ground by the same grinder. Obviously, Santa Cruz, you guys love that one.
I do.
We got some flour mills over here. I love that video. I watch a lot of you guys' stuff. I consume a good amount of you guys' content because I'm a heady dude. Like, I still go to the shops and buy shit. If I hear about a brand, I'm popping up to try it. Like,
we're the same way.
I always want to try. Like, we had a bunch of $1,000 plus ounces that we went through in the beginning too, to be like, let's see if this shit's what people are talking
it's disheartening,
about.
Disheartening, bro. Hey, quick shout out to Flour Mill too. I know that video didn't necessarily go their way, but I will say the team at Flour Mill is fucking
great
raw.
People.
They had like 3 execs and 3 engineers on a call the day after that video came out. They already had a V2, you know, to get rid of the metal shavings.
That's what this is.
You know, even I'm expecting after that video, I'm already expecting, you know, because they sent me the fine plate. It didn't quite get it fine enough to burn. Like watch, we'll roll the same weed.
It
and then
burns
that's
wider.
Mill. But wait till you taste the difference. Forget the ashes. Blindfold,
the
just taste and feel the difference.
It's just the experience.
It's smokier. It's a little bit sharper. Like the ashes is just like a coincidental, like, oh, and it happens to be burning differently too, which is a sign of a chemical reaction difference. You know what I mean? Different color ashes is literally a chemical indication that something different happened. And so, yeah, shout out to Flour Mill. I'm sure they're already on to fucking version 3.
Shout out
finer
Brent. Brent's
you know
a badass
yeah,
dude.
They go hard as
They're
fuck.
a group of fucking passionate guys for sure.
Santa Cruz Shredder, who knows if they'll fucking know we exist or what the fuck. They were all about it. Sponsor ready. Dope ass people, hella responsive. We'd much rather work with them, but you know, at the end of the day, fucking is what it is. You know, got to die on the hill of results.
Yeah, and you want to go with what you truly believe in, and you guys obviously you really believe in, because like even with Santa Cruz, you're using a specific Santa Cruz, not the metal one.
Yeah, well, he's had the same one for 7 or 8 years now.
Yeah,
and I came home with the first Connected Flour Mill collab one day, and we both had RS11. And I started rolling my shit up. He started rolling his shit up separately at our houses, right? And like a week in, I'm tripping. I'm like,
he calls me in a panic.
Is your shit smoking right now? And he's like, yeah, my shit's blowing.
I'm smoking one as he calls me. I'm like, dude, this thing is amazing.
Yeah. Right? I'm like, okay, bro. So I'm about to retire from rolling. Come over to my house right now. If I roll one next to you and my shit's not smoking like yours, I'm retiring from rolling. I'm not going to roll no more. You're going to roll all the doinks, which ended up happening anyway, the way we do it, you know, OG magic.
He's a perfectionist.
Yeah. Well, it's just a specific roll. But anyways, he comes over. My shit's not smoking. His shit is. I'm like, fuck, I'm done, dude. He's like, all right, hold on. Try this grinder. And so we roll up 2 more and they're identical. And we're like, fuck out of here.
Well, I'm looking at his grind as I look at mine, and I know how fine it should look. I know what it should look like. I've done it so many times. I know it's by eyeball. I can look at it and tell you whether it's ground up enough. And I'm looking at his with the one that he used, and I'm thinking, well, that's our difference. There's our variable right there. And so I give him the Santa Cruz. I'm like, let's try that one more time, and we run it back. And then what do you know?
I've tried other papers. I've tried OCB. I've tried to get him on the vibes. I've tried to get him on everything. And all the time he's like, bro, give me my 2-piece puck and my elements and shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not no.
I'm just one of those dudes where it's like, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? I'm like, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Like, if there's something better, that's why I like to try everything, because I always want to elevate. I don't by any means think that I am the best or anything like that, or I have the best method. No, I always want to elevate. It's just, this is the best one I've found so far that works for me.
I keep throwing new shit at him, bro, and I keep being wrong, dog.
No, it's smart.
I'm trying to like try all the new shit. I want to see, because surely shit's getting better, right? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Surely technology's getting better. We're finding new things. Flour mill's 10 times easier to use. Like vibes, same thing with vibes. They were a lot more responsive than elements, and they were offering like 3 times as much as elements. But we just didn't even like the texture of how it felt when we were rolling up before even sparking it.
Maybe let it sit
So
for
he's
like,
like, nope.
15 seconds or so.
Well, and it shows you wanting to be true to yourself.
Yeah.
Number one, we have to be true
We
to
got 3
us.
sponsors for that
And
reason.
like you said, when we off the mic is like, I'll live and die on this hill.
Yeah, straight
And
up.
so if that's the case, then
I'll
you
close the
have to be
company
true to
before we
yourself.
change
it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Damn, bro, you got a dab everywhere we go. It's discreet, it's portable, nobody knows.
DrDabber.com. Use the code, get your access now.
Okay, do you think the tip, because people are going to say, oh, well, white ash is this, white ash is that. What about what people say like, well, cigarettes burn white?
So yes,
Yeah.
I love that question.
Of course.
That's because they've
That's
done
the
a
one I
lot
get
of-
most.
You know, just because cigarettes are,
It's a mineral content.
it's unrelated things. So people are saying, oh, there's white ash. A combustible plant can have white ash. This one just happens to be really bad for you. This one has medicinal value. So the fact that, like, for example, that's like saying everyone from, it's like, all right, so you get a racist dude from Texas, right? And then another dude from Texas walks up. And you're like, well, he's from Texas, so he's racist. It's like, just because it burns white doesn't mean it's bad like cigarettes are. You know what I mean? Like, it's not correlated at all. All it is a mineral content. And
Yeah.
they've done the studies double blind with cigars on this.
Yeah.
And blindly tasting cigars, they were looking for flavor and smoothness. And the cigars with whiter ashes all perform smoother and more flavorful, because there's nothing like stopping the burn. You know what I mean? There's nothing interrupting it. Anything, a campfire. This is the best analogy. This is what made me break through on the ash thing. A fucking campfire, the best campfires rage, right? With a lot of heat, but not a lot of smoke. When you look above them, there's this waves of heat coming up, but there's not a lot of smoke. The shitty ones, and they leave by a powdery white ash at the end because they burned all the way through. The shitty wet wood, or the wood that's not burning right, billowing smoke, not as much heat, and it leaves behind a bunch of dark ashes. So you take that into a joint, the cherry is the heat source. It's almost like you're vaporizing your flower using the cherry. And if that cherry, if you're hitting it and it's giving off mainly heat and little smoke, then you're not getting as much smoky flavor, but you're heating up all the oil inside the flower and lifting it out of the flower gently from a distance. And it leaves behind a nice white ash because it's void of oils that wouldn't, you know what I mean? They wouldn't burn. They would burn black right into your ash. So it's kind of a long explanation, but the mineral content can be great or it can be horrible depending on what minerals. And I don't know the answer to that.
That's for growers to figure
You know what I mean?
out.
Yeah, that's
Same thing with cure, and same thing with all the factors that go into a proper tasting, proper burning flower that checks all the boxes. Is that there's many factors. So we're not speaking on what it takes as a cultivator to get there. We're talking about as a consumer,
Yes.
what
People
you're
buying
seeing.
it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is the majority of people out there. You don't have to grow it to consume the flower and be an aficionado. That'd be like saying the wine sommelier has to be in the garden growing the grapes to be able to rate the wine. And we know that's not the
or an
truth.
aficionado has to grow tobacco or a fucking, so that's the biggest thing we get. And I'm sure you guys probably heard it too.
Yeah, because I'm around a bunch of growers.
Yeah.
So I get, and I like what you guys do. So I'm always devil's advocate with that.
Yeah.
Because I see both sides. I 100% do.
I get it.
When tastemakers, I call it tastemaker, Pac brought it up, but when they came into play, I like that because if I have a question as a cultivator, I fall in love with plants. I look at a flower that's beautiful sometimes and smells good in bloom, and I'm like, she's fucking something special. And then you romanticize this flower, and maybe it's a 7, it's really a it's a 5, or maybe it's an 8, it's really a 4, and to have people around you that will give you some like, no, this ain't it, or bro, this is why this ain't it, or this is an old school terp. People don't want that right now.
Right.
And to have a tastemaker on your side,
but it yields
massive. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bro, that's I've never got that as a cultivator, but I've never chased yields. So that's probably why certain partnerships didn't work out.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's our answer to the growers is like, dude, we have all the respect in the world. But when people are like, you don't even fucking grow, like, who are you to say this and that? I'm like, what are you growing for other growers, dog?
Yeah.
We're the consumer, you know what I mean? That's what, and not just the consumer, but the highest paying consumer. We've never negotiated for price. We'll pay the 6 for the zip. Shit, we've paid 16 for the zip. We'd never bargain for art.
Think about the 16 zip.
Which one?
$1,600 zip.
There's a few of them, dude. We've done
What do you think about it?
The Nemo was the first like
Garbage.
1600 zip. That was
Really?
okay.
I didn't like it.
Old or was it fresh?
It was right in the middle, but it was seeded right out the gate.
Okay.
Big old tigers.
That makes a big difference.
But like, here's the thing. I don't know. I've never met him. This is just about the weed. So there's no personal, nothing.
It's whatever
no
you
disrespect.
got. Yeah.
We were given it. We bought it. Here's the thing. Old, new, whatever. We paid $1,600 a zip for it.
Yeah.
Doesn't fucking matter. Old, new, whatever. You
you're
let
right.
it go for $1,600. So good batch, bad batch doesn't exist at that price point. If it goes out at that price, what the fuck,
Yeah.
But it was cool. It was just really smoky. Wasn't combusting the best. Had some flavor. Not harsh, not smooth. Just C plus. I mean, we were high, but we always get high. You know what I mean? We were smoking 7 grams in a session.
It's almost like a buy factor at this point with a lot of good weed is it's potent.
Let's talk about that. That's the biggest thing, actually. The high, we got to address that, bro, because people mistake our approach with the high. We don't talk about the high at all in our competition for like
So
3 or
they're
4
like,
reasons.
you guys don't care about getting high.
No, that's one of my favorite things.
Why
Yeah.
the fuck do you think
about
we're doing
weed.
this? Yeah, it's just when we're smoking 2 things side by side. No, it's 2.
That's phenomenal, by the way.
This is what?
That's phenomenal.
Oh,
what did
right
you
on.
roll
Thank
up in
you.
that?
That's the Don one.
That's phenomenal.
The second
bro.
strain.
That
Yeah,
tastes so great, bro.
Yeah, thank you.
It really does.
I was just gonna say it's getting a little smoky now, but
for you to try, bro.
Was it fresh, or is that a fresh batch? Or
Very fresh, yeah.
Okay, because the flavor is soaring, but the nose I smelled and I was like, that is unbelievable.
Can I give you a trick?
I
noticed one
I
thing.
wanted to ask you.
All right, so check it out.
I just did it on
You
Gary,
rolled
too.
from the tip out, right? So what's going to happen is you're pushing the weed out of the joint, right? When I roll, I'm pushing my weed into the joint. I'm rolling
from the outside
towards the
in.
tip like that. I'm going to flip it down one time, right over the tip, boom, right back. I'm going to touch that paper one time, make sure I don't got no crumbs in that bitch, like that. And I'm just going to roll that
that
bitch,
shit pinched.
just like that.
Then you give it a little tamper on the top.
Give it a little tiny tamper on top, and then she'll be fucking evenly rolled. So my biggest thing is, I know a lot of people roll them and then they have to like really, really stuff at the end. I want to create that even pressure with my hands. I want to roll the doink. I don't want to stuff the doink. I want to roll the doink. And when I roll the doink, like you guys just saw that at the end, how I just went whoop and just rolled it. When I do that, I'm creating that even pressure everywhere so tight to where it's going to smoke right. That ash is going to come straight down. It's going to smoke correctly.
got the OG matching.
And I'm going to get the experience I want out of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got to fix mine a little bit sometimes and tap it down. He's just got that roll, so I just break shit down for the episodes. You know what I mean?
What do you think the tip does? Do you think the tip enhances flavor, burnability?
Enhances the experience.
Kind of.
I think it's a novelty. I think it stops you from getting Scooby snacks and resin all over your lips, like the doinks I smoked with my parents growing up in like the mid and early 90s and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, like.
What about the airflow?
I think the airflow does help.
I think it does.
But specifically,
because I don't always smoke those. I do paper tips a lot, and just hitting that, anytime I hit them, I'm like, oh man.
It's weird though, because
makes me
like too much airflow overheats it. Whereas I feel like the drag, the reason we don't like the big hole down the middle or any like big airflow is because the little ass holes create such a drag where it stops like the unwanted temperature spikes in the cherry that could like fuck up the terps right behind the cherry,
Wow,
like
you're right.
overheat those terps.
It's like putting training wheels on a doink.
Yes,
and letting it be able to go around the group. No one can fuck it up.
evenly pulls it.
Mine would get demolished. because I got a paper tip.
So ours
And,
still do, bro. When I go to like functions that aren't with like the industry homies, you know what I'm saying, that smoke a lot, bro.
Matthew
if I'm with my
McConaughey
friends
and
I
that
grew up with, you know, I love you guys. If I'm with my friend, I usually roll one and I'm like, all right, you guys smoke on this one, and then this one's for me, because I know that thing is gonna come back to me and break my heart the second I see it. And I'm like, you guys just smoke that one. I'll sit over here.
just
I'm a
smoking to
nerd
get
about my
high.
weed, dude.
Big
Like
ass
it's
grips.
canoeing. You're like, you guys huffed it for 3 minutes straight.
Yeah.
It literally was red hot.
He sat there and was like,
for
just
3 minutes.
just
It's like,
sheathing
tastes
it,
good,
dude.
right?
I'm just
I'm
like,
getting anxiety
damn.
talking about it, bro. We gotta change the subject.
Yeah.
Potency though. So for the reason we don't fucking talk about it.
Yeah.
Did you have something?
No, I was gonna say, let's talk about after we talk about potency. Let's talk about what's joint smoking etiquette. What's proper joint smoking etiquette?
Okay, yeah, that's a good little.
Let's say you do get in a circle of people.
You can finish off.
Sure,
Okay.
but we'll finish the potency first because that's important.
Let's say it's a hash hole or something. Some people spend $100
Way different
hash
etiquette.
hole, right?
Yeah, way
What's
different.
the etiquette? Because you
Completely
fuck
different
one of
than
those
doinks.
up. I was just on a little trip, and it's like they kept like the hash part kept burning all the way down, and it's just like
Yeah, well, that's partially roller, partially user, but there's a whole thing on that too. But we have to address this potency because this is a fucking problem, bro. This is the number one thing
what's
that
the
people bitch about.
percentage?
Yeah, well, fuck. If you're on that, dude, Jesus,
What's the
I'm not even talking
percentage?
to you if you're asking about the percentages, but just, like the high, like people think we don't care about high because we don't judge it in the competition. So number one, we're smoking things side by side. Which one's getting you high? How can you even say? So we can't, first of all. Second of all, hyper subjective. You might love a high that I hate, and I might love a high that you hate. And what gets you high might not get me high. So what's my opinion to the public about high matter at all? You know what I'm saying? Like,
It's
just subjective.
I love a racy sativa that
I
I've
hate it.
seen put people in full panic attacks.
I'll go panic, dude.
I mean, we used to have a strain Presidential Kush, and Pac would literally say like, as soon as you hit it, your chest starts to tighten up. And
Yeah, the heart
after
beating and
smoking it
shit.
a lot, I'm like, I would have to put my arms back a little bit because I'm like, damn, it was like an Afghani, right? And it's just would grab you and start to be like, oh, you're riding
to me,
along
that's
with this
why
high.
I
Yeah.
say, to me, that's potency.
yeah.
Like,
and,
it'll take you there, and you might be uncomfortable.
but it'll
Kinda
take
like-
you there, but it won't take him there.
Yeah.
right.
He loves it. I hate it. I'm like, bro, that crazy racy shit, I'm good. He's fine off of it.
Yeah,
So
I'm
like, what's
good.
the point of me talking about it when it's different for everybody?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? That's kind of where we're at.
Good
Now,
point.
personally, on every episode, we're like, personally, I'm high as fuck.
Yeah.
Or I'm not high at all. Like we've mentioned it on every episode, but it's not in the criteria because how can you actually base a high stakes decision of who wins on potency when, first of all, you don't even know which one's getting you higher? Like, you know what I mean?
All you can do is just say, this is potent weed.
Yeah.
And for me, right? Like speaks as
Exactly.
this
And we do
affects me in a positive way.
But somebody's gonna be mad at me if somebody wins off of my subjective opinion on potency.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Well, and like even OG Kush, like I like a good OG, but I'm not smoking that shit all the time. I'm looking for flavors right now. I'm smoking all these
or a
different.
nice salad, that's one salad I'll fuck
Yes.
with. A little
Yeah.
ZOG
But
salad.
not for every single time. Like,
yeah.
because I smoke during the day too. And
Yeah.
so it's just everyone wants something different out of their flower. And that's what I think is so dope about this is that like you get to decide exactly what you want out of it. If you want a purple or if you want an ice cream cake or if you want like all this stuff, like you get to now find your niche of like, well, I like this because of like Golden Go 83-day sativa, full pineapple, panic attack mode for most people. But I'm like, dude, I can smoke that shit all day.
Yeah.
I can't
love
fuck with
it.
that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
Your
just,
system is different than theirs. That's why it's a different response to it.
what have you guys been enjoying lately?
Dude, we haven't been enjoying shit as much as we used to.
Yeah.
That was a hard one.
Yeah, it was. That'll
There's some
stump
fire
us.
fuck. Shout out fuck.
Shout out Fuck. Fuck
I've
right
never
now.
heard of him.
Hey, Fuck is crushing it.
New.
Hey, watch out. He's coming for people's heads. Watch out.
FVC, at
Yeah.
FVCK.
Yeah.
It's fuck with a V instead of
Wow.
a U.
Yeah.
But bro, like, honestly,
Bro.
I told Jordan, like, they might.
Have
they
you
might
guys
win
smoked
the cup, dude.
Watson Supply?
I've done it. I've smoked it twice.
Yeah, twice.
Yeah,
Did you smoked it? Yeah.
it's just smoky.
Yeah.
It's just smoky. It's got some flavor. It's just a little harsher, a little smoky. Yeah. It's cool, like 7s, low 8s.
Yeah, no, this dude Fuck is a problem.
No, this is like-
I
What's he growing?
Cream smoothie.
Cream smoothie,
is what he
fruit
entered.
stand. He's got Trilly Kimber. He's got some other flavors, but he entered the cream smoothie and
It's probably gonna win, bro.
It's-
I already
I've
told Jordan.
I've seen
I'm
it
like,
knocking
bro,
people out.
this shit is just amazing, and like every
time I think it's
aspect
gonna
that
be
we
close,
look
it's
for,
not.
it checks a box, and it's just like, wow, that's hard to do.
Yeah, the slightest minerality, that's the only complaint about it. And it's slight. Like we're splitting hairs at like the top of like all the best smoke that we could find in the game right now. So it's like you have to find a difference. You know what I mean?
After seeing you guys' Pure and Proper review, I'm like, all right, now I got to try that.
Yeah, but even that, like we thought it was going to win maybe, right? We didn't know. But then we put them next to each other, night and day difference, bro.
And so
wasn't even
you're
hard to
talking
decide.
Slight margins at this point too, right? You're talking the difference between
9.0 and 9.3 is different worlds, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that little 9.0 to 9.4 range is what we consider great. And there's different variations in great. 9.5 and up is excellent. The 8s are good. 7 to 6 is decent. And then below that's bad.
Yeah.
So like, but 9.1 and 9.4.
Today's episode is brought to you by Grow Generation. If you're looking for a one-stop hydro shop, Grow Gen's got everything you need. Lowest prices in town or the price match for you. From plugs, newts, pots, soil, lights, turkey bags, vac bags, scales, they've got it all. Trust me. Whether you've got a rec facility, a trap, or a tent, Grow Gen's got you covered with 50 plus locations nationwide. Or you can visit growgeneration.com and use the code FIRSTSMOKE10 to get 10% off. What is it about the cream smoothie that like? Is it
It's
the flavor?
got this mouth staining, mouth
The
coating
main thing is the
flavor,
mouth stain.
and it's so pure. So the accuracy is ridiculous. You know, you open it up, you break it down, and as you're smelling it, that translation of what you taste in pure form when you hit
No
it is
smoky tar
exactly
ash or
that.
nothing.
There's like you said, the
Little bit of
slightest minerality, but most people wouldn't even notice that.
So like
And
purity is like 9.1.
it's just amazing.
But like strength, strength
It
and
sounds
accuracy.
like it. Cream smoothie, that sounds like something that
It's exactly what it sounds like too. It's this creamy citrus. Most citrus is like a thin, wispy, doesn't really get you high, doesn't really mouth coat. This has just enough like, I don't even know what it is, like gelato or cookie or something.
I wouldn't
like
compare it
creamy
to a
mouth coating.
gelinade. It's like a gelinade reversal. It's like if it was
creamier.
heavier on the cream and just like a subtle fucking like orange zest in there.
Yeah.
orange is the toughest terp to win with too.
Yeah.
That says
I
a
hate
lot.
it, dude. I hate
Says a
orange
lot.
terps. Any citrus terps, I'm good. I dodge that shit. And even me, I'm sitting here with my favorite strain, Skittles. That's my number one. That's my baby. Next to this orange
proper
shit, and
doink
I
right
hate
there.
citrus. What's in there? That's the perm? Yeah.
I don't know.
Would you roll up?
This is right here, right?
Yeah, that
It
was the
whatever
perm.
you gave me.
That was the perm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was the perm.
A little bit of some
Or no,
market.
it was whatever you gave me.
No.
Perm.
It wasn't out of that bag, I don't think.
Yeah, that's the BX1 per market.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah, okay,
perm,
but
yeah.
yeah. It smelled like
Oh
it.
yeah, this shit's looking great.
Yeah.
But rolled up.
This
fucking,
is so. This is some new stuff that you got.
But I guarantee you, we roll that up in a flour mill right now.
And
I
it's
guarantee you.
and it won't smoke
It'll
like
all
that.
be different. I'm
yeah,
telling you.
and if I roll it, definitely won't.
Well, and that all plays in. Yeah.
What
all
is that
plays a
in the
difference.
extendo that you rolled?
Same shit.
We should spark that just for R&D.
Yeah,
We should.
because you
All
did the flower.
I mean,
mill, right?
it's rough, boys.
We need to go through-
This is the longest extendo I've ever rolled.
But this is good though because if
I mean, it was a challenge. I had to really think about where to lay that thing
Even if
out.
it's not a good representation of like the work that you would do normally, I think it's a good just to show people how something can burn so differently just by a roll
Same
being different.
strain.
How if you don't know what you're doing and you're spending all this money, you're a fucking idiot.
And then you hit up the DMs like, bro, this couldn't have been
Yeah,
the
this
same.
shit didn't smoke, bro.
That
And it's like,
motherfucker,
nah.
like, dude, this dude can't even roll.
No, the extendos are a bitch to roll, dude.
Well,
they're hard.
I'm taking time between hits, and I know you guys talk a lot about that. Let's go through joint smoking etiquette as we hit this, because I try to explain to people, and I get all self-conscious because I'll be like, "Hey, man, let it breathe before you pass it." And I'm with a bunch of old heads that grow a bunch of weed.
You want to
and I'm
smoke
like,
some good shit, but it's like you bust
It's
out some
tough.
Dan's rolling up or some of these hashels that are a lot more, and you go to smoke it, and you got a few people.
Dude,
And it's like,
it's
damn,
anxiety
bro.
ridden. That's
You're
why
like,
I
it's
don't
$150
smoke.
joint.
Just
That's-
roll
that's
We had a
why-
conversation.
That's why
we just
we
stopped
only
smoking
smoke with
people,
each
dude.
other. Like
Yeah.
we don't
Yeah.
smoke with
Or
people.
we bring an extra one to pass around while we smoke on the one.
Yeah.
But what I'll do, the best intro, maybe not in a group setting, but if you're with a homie that's just stubborn, you just be like, "Hey, you want me to roll your own one, or do you want to know how I smoke mine?"
I'm mainly talking
You just
about
leave it up to
Josh,
them.
man.
Yeah.
We're just like
Call him
stuck
out.
with him, you know.
Oh, I like
straight to the camera.
Company. It's like company shit, you know, when you're with a team, business shit, and everyone's like, some people are like, you know, they're not into it, dude. I'm trying to get high, dude.
Yeah,
I like
they're
it.
trying to get high.
I like
gotta
what,
get a video of this.
I like what Adam said though. Like you said, explain it one more time. You said,
what was the topic? I already forgot my ADHD.
how you offer someone to either roll their own joint or this is how I do it.
Yeah, he said he'll basically tell somebody, all right, so hey, look, this is how I smoke. Do you want me to show you, or do you want me to just roll you one of your own?
I just tell them I'm a weirdo, dog. There's a lot of rules to this that make it go right. So do you want me to just roll your own so you don't have to worry about that? And they'll be like, no, let me know, Maybe like reverse it. If you're trying to shove it down their throat, they're just going to be like, bro, I don't need to know how to smoke, bro, chill, Like,
yeah. That's literally what happened.
You do, bro, but all right, no worries.
I was passing around a couple of hash holes and I was like, oh, they're fucked. I tried to explain to some old heads and I was like all self-conscious. Dude's been growing longer than I have, half of them more weed. Yeah. I'm like, just let it breathe. And all right, let that one go. And I just would sit there and smoke my own.
Yeah.
Yo, red alert real quick. This is fire, dude.
Is it?
Yeah, that's nice.
That's Pat God's new stuff.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That wet paint,
dude,
dog.
I forgot to.
We gotta get that in the comp.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm down, dude. We do a bunch of duels.
Well, they did your KMZ.
In between brackets.
You did his KMZ.
Yeah,
we did his Planet Z.
We need to post it again, but we did in the bracket.
I seen the bags up, so I was like, oh, it must have been good.
Yeah, it was, we put everything we try up on the wall.
Okay.
So the first half, straight fire, especially the KMZ, heavy ass flavor. The second half, it did start to die.
Yeah.
But that first half was unbelievable to the point where I was like, I'll smoke that again just to experience that first half, which most weed, dude, that's like 90% of weed is like first half, first 70% maybe. It's like the unicorns that smoke to the glass, dude. That's like rare as fuck, dude.
Well, and I want to like preface, because I watch a lot of you guys' stuff too, is that like you're splitting hairs. We're talking the top 10% of everything out there. And if you think if it's oversaturated market, just think what the top 10% looks like.
The shit we wouldn't smoke 30% of is shit that other people be so stoked to smoke, like out of a dispensary. Like I think, the context get lost as it's getting popular quickly. We made this page for like a little group of 400 people. It got out of hand, but we didn't want all that shit. We're talking to a group of people that never negotiate on price, spend the absolute top dollar, wait in line for months in advance, pre-order their weed because it's from that specific person that smokes a specific way. And the day we come out and say, this was this and it wasn't, we're going to lose all those 400 people, which is the whole reason we made the page. You know what I mean? Everything else is extra.
Credibility is shot.
Yeah.
Do you think you need to reveal genetics?
Maybe eventually, I don't know. I don't have a strong opinion
but for
on that,
anybody as
other
a
than
grower.
what we do.
No,
we don't, because people judge it.
No, what he said is this. Yeah, he said.
And half the time genetics aren't even real, bro. It's all the fugazis anyway.
Yeah.
So they're thinking, oh, now I don't like this strain when they didn't even smoke that strain and it was just grown wrong and everything else. And now they made an opinion on that strain. That's why we named the new strain Don Juan. Because we're just like, just try it, dude. We'll tell you guys what it is in a few months.
Jordan,
I like that.
Jordan said it best. He was like, just give it to him and tell him to smoke it and then ask them if they like it. And if they did, what the fuck does it matter?
Yeah.
What does it matter?
I get the
what does it matter
coming
what the
from a
genetics
grower.
are? Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, that's Jordan's words.
What does it matter what the genetics are? If you like the smoke, like who cares?
I try to say that all the time. And then I'd hate to break it to a lot of people's hearts. And I'm just like, yo, your favorite grower isn't even really in the grow like that.
Yeah.
For the people who are going hyper
a lot
grow,
of people, yeah.
I will say
it's just and it's a team thing, like it is what it is. There's a lot of people that, it's not one thing, right? But like good batches are, like you say, a unicorn.
Yeah.
It is hard, dude.
Yeah. And it's
at the level you're talking.
Yeah.
How do you break that down to like expert level, connoisseur? Like, I don't know. Like, how do you break that down to like
on the show, or what do you mean?
No, just like basically like the level you're judging at, like best of the best.
Well, the way we look at it is every
like best
consumable
you can
good,
possibly source.
It's like we're trying our goal with the show is to become like the Michelin star of cannabis eventually. We got a long way to go because we're some rookies still, but that's the like 10-year goal is to end up being something like that. And every consumable good that's intoxicating or not even has their connoisseur niche that's highly respected internationally for their freakish standards. Freakish, not like, oh, he's just be nice, bro. It's pretty good. Just call it great. Like, no. Like relentless freakish standards.
Right.
Except for cannabis. We looked everywhere. We could not find that. So we're like, God damn it, we got to do it. Fuck. We didn't even want to. It was just, we couldn't find it and we cared a lot about it. So we're like, let's do it. We might not be that good at this shit, but let's just fucking
we'll fill the void.
Have you guys watch Barstool at all? Davey Pizza Reviews?
Yeah, the one bite.
Oh, yeah. One bite.
I like that because he's giving his opinion and then people can either be like, Dave's out of his fucking gourd, this pizza's whatever, or they can be like, he's right on this, and time will tell, right? The people who smoke these same batches behind you and are like, yeah, this shit is fucking smoking.
Yeah.
And the stuff that they're like, man, I didn't like that, and this is why. Because also flavor's a preference, but it's like I consider that when you're talking about what you're doing, I'm like, I could see that turning into something cool like that.
Yeah, we don't look at flavor preference at all. Just how much of that flavor is coming through strength-wise, how accurate is it to what you smelled, and how pure is that flavor? Is there any background noise, smoke, tar, spray, ash, whatever?
Minerality.
Yeah, like all that type of shit. I could hate the flavor coming through. Jack Herrera could come and win the cup if it was pure, strong,
smoking right
and flavorful enough and smooth as fuck. You know what I mean? If it hits all the boxes, doesn't matter what
you may
terp
like
it is.
Jack. He doesn't.
Oh, I hate Jack.
But how are we to say that weed's not good because we don't like the flavor profile?
Fuck our opinion.
So that's what you're judging how it smokes.
Specifically. We don't judge flavor. The specific flavor itself is never, ever, ever a factor in anything that we judge.
I hate orange turds.
That's why it has to be so,
probably, bro. That's my prediction.
That's why it has to be so crucial. It comes down to you guys gotta take the hard stance because that's a fine line,
dude. We'll shut the company down before we're just like because
it's tough. You're talking A+ weed, no hiccups,
and competing them against each other.
Yeah,
batches with almost you wouldn't even notice the hiccups until you fucking put it next to something else.
Think, man, not bad for a rookie, huh?
No, absolutely not. And it's still smoking.
And honestly,
the biggest thing that I think is that
that's why I haven't gotten good because I'm like my shit works. So it's like,
and the biggest
smoking with guys like this. I mean,
no, but the biggest thing too is that weed is smoking.
Yeah, the weed is
smoking.
You can see the ashes.
This has been one of the better batches. So I'm glad
peppery.
When we blocked this date and shit, I was glad because I was like, yo, I got one of the better batches of fucking weed right now.
Let's go. Hey, because it's tough to do.
We're gonna light this up for sure.
The best sign too is your ash is straight. It's not like tighter on one side than the other. That can cause runs. If your shit's tighter on this side, it'll burn a little slower, and then it'll burn a little faster on one side and start running. Yeah. Also have to do with how you hold it and everything else. But like if you notice, I noticed just the slightest little bit more tickle, and then I didn't notice it my first hit, but my second hit I did, and then I saw a little bit more pepper right when I saw the tickle. It's a trip.
I just torched the hell out of this.
Yeah, that was.
And people need to analyze their smoke. Analyze what you enjoy about certain strains.
Talk about the lighter tech and the torch tech.
Yeah, so
people
basically
can know about, and it's basically what I'm doing right now.
Well, there's so much. We typically use a torch, but we flew here this morning, so we couldn't bring one.
Did you light that with a lighter, like old school?
I did.
Nice, dude.
Actually, he lit this old school.
Oh, nice. That was a good light too.
Yeah. So basically, we would use a torch.
You gotta talk about that too. How to light.
Yeah. So we would use a torch. We would basically do what we would call, I guess, toasting it, right? Because we're basically just sitting there, we're running it over it, and then maybe giving it a second and blowing on it, to give it some air and get it to start going.
Oil down.
Yeah. Try to get that oil to push down. Sit there and like really get it burning until you can almost see it'll start to combust already on its own. If it's really good weed, it'll automatically start to turn white when you start to do that. And you're
Haven't
like,
hit it at all yet.
You're like, okay, there she is. You'll start to light it up. Then I would just literally take it and give it a few pulls to kind of baby pulls just to kind of get that cherry going. Let it sit for a minute, obviously holding with the cherry pointing down. And go for there.
So that's important too. So you said hash hole etiquette versus doink etiquette earlier. Pointing straight down, especially in the beginning of the doink, is doink etiquette, but not hash hole etiquette. So like that, what it does is as the heat's rising, smoke's an indication of where the heat's traveling. So as the heat's rising up the sides of the doink, it's getting the oil that's trapped in the plant material that we want out in vapor. It's getting it more viscous and closer to its evaporation point. So that when you hit it, it just evaporates that much easier and that much faster. And then, so the idea of before hitting it, pointing it down and letting that heat rise is the oil is what slows down the cherry. So you want the oil to get away from the cherry and clear a path of just vacant plant material. You know what I mean?
So you would almost say the opposite's true for hash holes.
Because you don't want if you think about it as a heat source, you want to keep your rosin as low temp as possible. So if your rosin is just sitting on a fucking coal, bubbling, boiling, you're just oxidizing your shit. By the time you actually get to enjoy it, it's going to taste like tar. But if you, I'd like to put the hash hole sideways, maybe the slightest bit down right after you hit it, and then point it up right after. But while the smoke's strong, what it does is the oil ring, it gets the oil ring viscous too, which will let it peel away from the cherry. Because if not, if the smoke's not running through the oil ring, it'll harden and then it'll just burn into the cherry. It won't run away from it. So it's like, there's a whole fucking thing, dude. Me trying to explain this to the homies in one sesh is
and
tough,
especially
dude.
like when it gets to where he is, like he's holding it the correct way, but I would be spinning it at that time, because what's happening is, because that's viscous, because you hit it and had it upside down, that oil got liquefied, and because it's so close to the cherry and so thick right now, it's going to run into that cherry,
Well,
and
it'll
it's
all
going
go
to
to the
change.
bottom, too.
Yeah, and it's going to change the flavor of the doink.
It'll like pool up.
So I would hold
and
it
go right in.
diagonal and spin it like this to manipulate the cherry and watch it to make sure at no point does it go dripping into the actual cherry itself.
And what's crazy,
you want
this is
that
all-
oil to be outside.
This is all cigar content, or I mean, etiquette.
Etiquette, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, all this shit is old school cigar etiquette. I just nerd out watching aficionados and shit. And there's so much game in the cigar world, bro. We're sleeping just by writing them off for being tobacco. It's the only other combustible plant, inhalable plant, basically, I mean, besides some sketchy shit, on earth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That like gives an effect when hitting it. So how the fuck, I mean, I know it's literally apples to oranges. It's two fruit, but slightly different. But there is terps in tobacco, and you are trying to remove those terps for a good experience. You know, the cigarettes, I don't know, that's like the vapes, you know what I
But
mean?
even how tightly they're rolled, how they're cured,
How evenly.
the stack of the ash, the color of the ash, they pay attention to all that as well. So even if you're not into, well, this burns white and so does that, they pay attention to how it burns, the stack of the ash, the cure on the flower. They even go to crops, I'm sure, where like, as an outdoor farmer, they're saying last year's yield was more oily because maybe it was warmer in the summer. So now these leaves have a stronger flavor. It's more bold,
The
right?
relationship too between that person and the farmer, the people that smoke them and enjoy them and notice all those things and go back to the farmer. Why is this? He's like, I bet you it's because of this. That's what we do with Jordan.
Yeah.
Every batch, we're like, dude, this was different. This was different. He's like, okay, I changed these things. That's interesting. Wonder if they correlate.
Yeah.
And figured out a lot of shit. You know what I mean with that. But like even like an aficionado, they can ruin the best cigar in the
fine-tuning.
world by hitting it too long. Just hitting it like a half a second too long, and you ruin the best cigar that could have been great, but now it's going to taste worse because it's running and burning unevenly. So it's like a run, which by the way, never lick the fucking doink. All right, if you're ever
You don't spit on it and
Yeah,
touch
you
the
just-
side.
what
I
you do-
hate when people do that.
you put the long part at the bottom when it's chilling, the longest part, because the smoke rising displaces the oxygen in the cherry, slowing the combustion on the top, but speeding it up on the bottom. But then when you hit it, you got to flip it, because when there's no smoke, there's no displacement of oxygen. So then heat rises, the top burns faster.
Calling all growers, drip powders, clean, consistent, customizable. Drip powders are not just another salt. This line is innovative, balanced, and unique compared to anything else on the market today. They separated the micros from powder A into powder D, allowing cultivators to steer out nitrogen towards the end of the bloom cycle for better flavor, better terpene production, and overall ripeness. You only need to run a 2.6 EC for maximum flavor, lower costs for higher yields. Chase those terps and feed your fire Drip Hydro. If you want to access Drip Hydro nutrients, all you have to do is go to growgeneration.com and use the code FIRSTSMOKE10. Get hooked up.
I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah,
but
so continually rotate it and pay attention to what you're... How long between hits to let a doink breathe?
it's different for every strain
Yeah.
until you can't see the cherry no more, really. And the smoke is cooling down. If I can see orange, it's probably a little too hot. You know what I mean?
So let
That ash should act as a sleeve around that cherry that basically
like an
keeps the
insulator.
cherry cool, right? So like if you have a fire, like you was talking about earlier, right? A campfire, if it's windy, that thing's going to rage more. Well, if a cherry's exposed, it's going to burn hotter. So that ash that's around it, that's why we say don't ash the doink. Because if the ash is around it, it's going to allow that cherry to burn cooler, which is going to allow you to get more flavor. Because the hotter that smoke is, the more of your taste buds that are getting destroyed when it's coming in, and the more you're losing flavor.
And that's all cigar shit too, bro. All the shit is just cigar shit. How to hold it. Like, look, the run's gone. In like 2 hits, the run's gone. Just from holding it a certain way. But he could make a run happen right now on purpose in 2 hits. So it's just like...
this guy. No, but like, you know what I compare it to? It mimics a lot of like the high-end whiskey drinkers and high-end certain aspects of like how they want, just a little bit of water, some
Let it
tap.
fall on this part of your tongue versus
Yes.
that. And,
Oh, I like an ice cube. No, I don't want an ice cube. Oh, I want it, so
How long
many
you leave the ice cube in,
intricacies.
Yeah. But then other people will be like, that's so stupid. It's just whiskey, bro. You're just trying to get drunk.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or like, it's just tobacco. You're just trying to get a little Domer Simpson. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, all right, bro, for sure.
Everyone wants different things out of it. And that's what's cool. And you just got to appreciate it.
That's the potency thing. You're just trying to get high. It's like, well, no, we're trying to have an insane experience right now with this
Yeah.
weed while we're getting high. Not just to get high. It's not a drug to us. It's like a fine delicacy. You know what I mean? Alcohol is a drug to a lot of people and it's a delicacy to others. Same with, wine, same with tobacco, everything.
Yeah.
So the middle's following out, bro. It's like, it's either like people are either like, this shit's contagious. Once you figure it out, then you can't unlearn it. And then everything bothers you. And then you got to change all your homies or else they're going to drive you crazy. So then you infect them and then they infect their homies. And so the middle's following out. You either really give a fuck nowadays or you just don't. You know what I mean? And it's hard to be like Switzerland with the shit.
It's the awakening. You start to awaken them to head equality. I mean, I know as a cultivator, you would come in contact with people who would have their hands on a lot of weed, but not a lot of really good grown weed. Mm-hmm. And so next thing you know, you get people start to experience like, yo, fuck is this?
Yeah.
And you start to get that like that back and forth of like, oh yeah, this is special.
The dopest thing is when you actually change somebody.
Oh, that's my mission every day,
when you actually
bro.
change somebody is the dopest part, because at the end of the day, right, we're like, markets are opening up all over the United States now, right? California has forever been the epicenter, right? We got to stay the epicenter. How do we do that? We got to elevate our game to a level that nobody else is at.
New York's almost on this culture more than Cali right now,
Yeah, it's
bro.
crazy.
The top
We
shelf
just went
shit.
out to New York for 420 and it was insane.
They're our highest concentration of followers is New York City.
Really?
Yeah. They
Because
have
they don't give a fuck,
they have
dog.
real connoisseurs out there that are about their shit. It's
They
crazy.
pay the money
Yeah.
and they expect exactly what the fuck they expect also. Easiest people in the world if you give them what they want.
Right?
And you know what they want. You know what I mean? Both parties know what the fuck they want. They could be like, oh, really? You didn't think? Oh shit, I thought it was. No. That's it. You're done. If you fucking sell them some shit,
Yeah.
like it's the worst nightmare ever. Cali, it's like, yeah, bro, we're just gonna get high out here, dude.
Nah.
A lot of Cali is crushing, but I'm saying like they're second place, but New York is edging it out, dude.
Oh, they're so passionate.
New York is
We can't let nobody
wild.
beat us is our point.
Yes.
Yeah,
We go
gotta
out
bring it
there,
back.
shit like that scares us when we see that. We love it, but it scares us because we're like, damn, are they going to surpass us?
Yeah, because some
we
of the
can't
weed
allow
out
that
there was
we can't
crazy,
allow
too.
that to happen. Like I said, since my parents are old school
Just on
hippies,
some competitive
you
shit.
know what I'm saying? So this is a family thing from back in the day, and it's like you can't have New York beating us. There's no way. There's no way. It's Cali. We got to win this.
Much love to New York, though.
Well, the
dude.
production's here, and it's going to be tough to be able to have the production there. It's just, just look at size,
Maybe
right?
the small batch game can fuck around.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then there's always scalability, but where there's opportunity, that's where talent goes. And that's why Cali has reigned in a great supreme. And that's the reason we're out here is that like, this was the Mecca.
Yeah.
This is the playing ground of like, this is the
Can't get it twisted.
gladiators.
Cali's absolutely fucking dominating the world.
But I
There's no
love
fucking
the
always
passion.
has.
Oh,
But dude, 10 years? Who knows?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
10 years in, like shit.
well, as of today, right? They're rescheduling. So there's a lot of stuff happening, right? We'll see what happens in the next 10 years. We could have federal
I like to believe
legalization.
it's always gonna be Cali.
Good.
Yeah,
you
dude,
could be
that's crazy.
producing wherever and sending fresh batches all over the
How
US.
sick would that be?
That'd be different, right?
Oh fuck.
It's a game changer.
I don't know if I love it or hate it, dude.
I know.
Because usually it ends up going
You got
not
to get
the way
on
we
board
wish it
immediately.
would, right?
That's the thing.
Depends
you know?
on what the taxes end up being and shit.
Yeah.
That eighth will be like
Great.
Do
$200.
they make it reasonable or not?
Yeah.
When the
They
feds
won't.
get involved, it's never reasonable.
Yeah, they won't.
It's
Look at the
never
state tax
reasonable.
right now in Cali.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
To think like, this is a $40 eighth, or now it's 60 because
the
the
door
state
for
wants
80.
their third.
Yeah, right.
It's like they're looking at you like, dude, your shit. It's just like, damn. If only I was eating like even a fourth of that.
Yeah, if only if
holy
I was
fuck.
a big
Right.
pharma
Like my
company, bro,
actual
would I be
cut
doing
out of
good?
that is like I'm minority.
Let me ask you guys.
You know?
Let me ask
Small
you
partner
guys
in
because
your
I'm out of
business.
this. What's a good ounce cost right now? Fire ounce.
I could always get a good ounce for 400.
400.
Okay.
If I didn't want to negotiate,
Because
I
we
never
talked
do.
16, we
Yeah.
talked 800. Some of the big names. You
You want to go through some of those?
That's up to you. I don't like, but yeah,
Some of them are great, bro.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I'll talk about the good ones.
Yes.
Elephant's Growth.
Elephant's Growth was amazing. That was
Amazing.
I thought
$800.
so. Bang for the buck for high price stuff. He's my favorite.
I'll buy that
I
again.
paid
Yeah.
800.
For the head, I'll buy that
Yeah.
for the OG.
I thought so too.
Yeah.
And the 41 2 years ago
What else?
was fire.
What else?
Um,
You guys talked about Nemo. Who else? Who else got the $1,600?
what the fuck? Tsunami and Ivory out of Washington, D.C. They were making a run with Zach Woods for a second. It was,
Oh, yeah. I
it
remember
was
that.
like, I don't know what the genetics were. I'm not sure, but That's what they called it. That was, bro, we got it. It was some of the ugliest looking weed I ever seen, right? And then smelled like shit, right? Rolled it up, smoking.
Yeah.
Wow.
Absolutely.
But for the first half, it was smoking, and then it got really hard second half. So overall, it was a mids busted, but really impressed because I did not think it was gonna. I was like, what the fuck? Like the flavor actually came out in the smoke a little bit. Tasted bad, but it was there, and it was smooth as fuck for the first half. Mouth coating as fuck, like burning immaculate. So that was really surprising. We were like preparing mentally for the worst episode, dude, and we hate that shit because it always starts issues and everything else, and we try not to. We try to be objective. But it was looking rough, dude.
Third Eye too.
Third Eye. Okay, 3 experiences with Third Eye. $1,600 zip.
Yeah.
First batch, Sunset Sherb. Yeah, Sunset Sherb. It was just oxygen, air, no flavor, no expansion, no high, no nothing
air
really.
pack.
Yeah.
Second batch, we got Skittles.
Breathe.
And we just happened to grab an 8th because we were doing some shopping with Imperial Club. And then they fucking, we roll it up. Well, first of all, we smell it. No nose at all, bro. Yeah. Smells like nothing at all. Looks cool. Roll it up. Top 2 Z's I've ever had in my life.
Yeah. Fucking
could be the top
fire.
one. I just have to side by side it. It's hard to say.
Was
Full
it super
flavor.
fresh, you think? Is
Dude,
that
it was
why it was
amazing, dude.
the whole
No,
joint?
it was super old.
Yeah.
Oh, it was.
No nose
Interesting.
at all.
Wow.
Bro. It was
It was
gone.
amazing.
It was dry and
And
shit.
it was such a fucking a shock to both of us, dude.
Immaculate,
Just like,
bro.
what the
And it was
fuck,
going up against
dude?
a Z from what's the brand? Fuck, I forgot. But it was going up against a rec brand. I think it was Super Dope.
Yeah.
And
Mega Z Blue.
smelled amazing, bro. I was like, it was small batch first rec. It's like, this is going to be an absolute shutout. And it tasted like nothing, right? Like chalk. But then, keep that in mind, we just brought Third Eye back for the bracket because that was the best Z we ever had. We're like, that's the dark horse. It's going to win. And it tasted like chalk this time, how the Super Dope did.
Wow.
No flavor. We're like, damn.
So it's batch to
Lost to
batch
the proper Z.
for
Dude,
every
it really
brand.
is, even for the best of the best,
absolutely,
bro. Yeah,
absolutely.
The ability to even touch an insane batch once a year or something that's dope as shit.
Yeah, you're blessed if you get to do that.
That's why you see wine connoisseurs will buy cases when they go to vineyards and they know there's a certain batch. They're like, yeah, we'll take as much as we can
unicorn, we'll
get.
grab a couple pounds, probably.
Yeah.
Usually, yeah.
But those lucky fuckers get to store it a certain way and keep it for a long period of time.
Yeah,
we don't
dude.
have that.
We develop problems by how fast we have to smoke shit to keep it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, to be able to smoke it before it goes bad. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Even in a Grove bag.
Which is, I guess, why people say the weed's not worth it. That's the biggest debate, and we're split on this too. Some people say weed should never sell for that much. That's his OG opinion.
You could say that about cars. That's a $3 million Bugatti. There's no car that shit. It's like, it's all relative. So
alcohol, shoes, all this random shit can sell for hella, but weed can't when it takes how much of your life and it's like a reflection of the grower and like that's real art to me.
they're selling $100 strawberries right now from Japan that come in like I swear to God, come in a cradle.
Any
so
rare,
take that shit out of here.
Any
Bricks off the
rare
chart.
drugs go for more.
Is that shit real?
Yeah.
Like when you know, like when
high
it's
bricks.
Like there's always going to be price difference.
Yeah.
In quality.
There's a guy that grows dragon fruit
and availability
that sells high-end dragon fruit in SoCal and breeds his own crosses of dragon fruit, right? I think it's called Chasing Dragon Fruit. And his whole thing is he tests them with bricks levels and will show you like, oh, this variety's 21 or 18. And
Dude, shout out Greasy for putting me on the bricks.
there you go.
He's still running.
talk
Shout out
about your
Greasy.
boy,
Man,
man.
what happened? Where did it go wrong,
What happened,
bro?
man?
Oh man, do we want to
Like
do the
where?
story?
Because obviously you're pretty harsh on everyone's weed, right? Overall,
not even harsh on his weed. He has some great batches.
But I'm saying
some
that's.
amazing
But
batches.
it's
I think
not
we're
like
just
you pick and
honest.
choose.
Yeah,
no.
so we're not biased at
We're
all.
honest about the plant and our
yes.
experience with the plant. It's not a reflection.
Greasy, I was in the middle of giving him props and calling him a bitch at the same time. Like you know, like as a dude, he basically like called Blueprint out for using seals on their jars or some shit, right? And then started trying to,
I heard about this now. Yeah, I know
hunt him down and shit. And I'm like, all right, let me go troll him. So I go
because it
troll
can
him.
get on the weed and then you're smoking glue. It was the whole thought. Okay.
And so he's like, okay, cool, bro. DM me. Why you storying that? But all right, fuck off then, right? And so long story short, bro, I just go, yo, bongs suck, because I just want to start trolling them, right? And then it began, dude. You know what I'm saying? That's where it all began, right? But like, you know, temper tantrum and this and that.
Yeah, I just took a grenade.
Bro,
I
do you
just
regret that
grenade
moment?
off and
I got
tossed
a
that
Bible.
motherfucker.
I got a Bible back.
You ever
from
think
that.
about that message and regret
I
saying
would
that
do it again and again. Yeah.
Yeah, you
Fucking-
said that
cracks
this has
me
been
up.
so fun. So I'm getting calls. He's going to all the mutual homies. Bro, tell him to chill, bro. Tell him to chill. I'm like, no, dude, you got me going now. If you went, so he threatened the crew. So I had to get my petty shit going, right? And start hunting him down. He called me out to a boxing match. And I'm like, yeah, bro, tomorrow or the next day, or sure, let's do this. And he's like, oh, like a month. I need Burner to like host it or whatever. I'm like, all right, a month. Give me a date, bro.
That'd be dope. I'm with
I'm
this.
like, sounds good to me. That's
sounds
even better. So give me a date then, a month. Like just, you know, stop talking shit and give me a date, bro. And any date you want. And then he's like, and I start getting a little more aggressive with it. I'm like, bro, stop being a bitch and just give me a date. He's like, all right, bro, you're being too disrespectful. I'm not going to fight you now. I'm like,
Yeah.
bro, I got to be respectful and I'm about to fight you, dog? Well, since when? You know what I mean? What the fuck is that? So anyways, long story short, then he like just blocked me on everything, went into hiding for a year and a half. So I just pop out and troll him occasionally and just just remind him he's a bitch, you know, but that's pretty much the greasy
Does
thing.
he ever pop out?
Yeah. At one point he deleted his Instagram over the shit. At another point, I mean, he'll pop out, he'll talk some shit on his story indirectly to me. And then we just go on a tear every time he runs his little mouth. You know what I mean? That's look,
Yeah, they're combative. I saw you guys back and forth with,
Not with everybody, though.
No Till Hank Hill or something like that.
we just had some fun with, dude.
No, but I like that you guys embrace the back and forth.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, it weighs on you. I'm glad that it doesn't weigh on
Not
you like
at
that,
all,
and you
dude,
can take that
9
on.
out of 10 times
No,
we
we
end up
sleep
coming to
fine.
an agreement, dude. 9 out of 10 little like comment wars, because if you're coming to it diplomatically, bro, I just love to talk about this shit diplomatically. But also, if you're trying to troll me, I have fun with that too, so we can do that. You know what I mean? Like no problem. So it's a playland, dude. The internet.
Do you think some people just want to step on your toe and see what you'll do?
Yeah,
Bro,
for
they
sure.
got nothing going on.
I don't
have no
even
idea.
respond to people like I do to
You should
Greasy.
see the comments
You know what I
on
mean?
the
That's
live
different.
that I honestly have to tell our producer. We'll be sitting
Just
there and I'll be
keep scrolling.
be reading comments, dude, and I'll see someone try to poke at him and try to start it, and I'm like, dude, just keep scrolling.
And I'll
Just keep
miss
scrolling.
it,
Just keep
'cause I
scrolling.
will, like,
yeah,
I'll-
I'm like, keep scrolling. Don't let him see it.
Like,
Just
go
keep
back up.
scrolling.
Go back.
Yeah,
We're
no, we
having a
just
good
had
show
this
today.
happen.
Like, let's
dude.
just keep scrolling. Let's
I'm like, no,
do
but why are
this.
you saying that? Come on.
Someone's on there just trying to fuck with Adam. What did the dude say the
He
other
said,
day?
"Stop using tips.
Stop using tips.
It's
It ruins
ruining
your
the
smoke.
smoke."
Look at them. They're not even inhaling.
He's like, yo, keep it going, dude.
And I'm like, dude, please keep scrolling, dude, keep scrolling. And meanwhile, our other followers,
I'm not
shout out to them, are
inhaling.
sitting there, hammering this dude, fuck you.
That's the best. Oh, dude, our
so, yeah.
community's
So talk
dope.
about the not inhale tech.
Yeah, he was trying to say I was Bill Clinton, bro.
Yeah, it was
Like, no, you
hilarious.
can see the thin ass smoke leaving in one long,
It
consistent
was
form.
so
It's not a
funny,
puff
dude.
in the
This
beginning.
dude was
like,
hella
come
trying
on,
to
dude.
fuck with us, dude. He's like, they're losing all the terps with that tip.
Yeah, dude. that was some
like
shit.
this and
He's a
that.
backseat smoker, like a backseat driver.
Yeah.
He's like, you need to hit that thing harder.
He's obviously never had a proper doing.
He was like spelling shit wrong. I don't know where in the country he's from. We don't even know if he's in America.
Yeah.
Like honestly, there's a lot of it's everywhere.
Yeah, it's
so
probably-
who
yeah.
knows,
Yeah.
But
That's why you can't get.
all jokes aside, dude, we'll debate with anything, but we're not trying
No, it's
to.
always
you know.
it's always all fun.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
besides with
No,
Greasy, I'll slap
yeah.
the shit out of Greasy, but everybody else, it was fucking completely fun and games, and we just like to have a good fucking tussle on the internet with other people who like to, you know.
You almost have to get used to it these days, having your face out there. Because we talked about when you guys first put your face out there.
Yeah.
Once you do that, you almost have to know, like, okay, this journey, I
gotta
have
get
to accept
heckled.
thick
I'm ready
skin.
for the worst.
I have to
Yeah.
have combatants. People are also just not going to like you because they
No.
just don't like you. There's no reason.
Yeah.
They just don't fuck with
I
you.
wouldn't say we're the most likable. We're split in half. Either
think
you
so, too.
do not fuck with us, or you heavily fuck with us. We don't have no in the middle people usually. You know what I mean?
I think it's especially once you
and I
meet us,
understand it too.
You know how it is. You guys have a show. You guys get it. The internet, and even maybe it's sometimes the way you clip shit together and put it out. Whatever it is.
Yep.
The internet,
That's a big part of it.
The internet will basically eat you alive and judge you on shit. Right? It's inevitable.
Yeah.
It's gonna
Hey,
happen.
we're ready for 'cause
Over
at
a
the end of the
10-second
day-
clip, you
Yeah,
know, and
and
that's what it boils down to.
Yeah, straight up.
Scrolling on the phone. 10 seconds is out of 2 hours
Form a whole opinion on it.
of a podcast, right? And then they're like, well, that's not, and it's like, you got to watch the full episode.
Yeah.
That's what we always revert to. Like, yo, if you want to dive into it, at least watch the full episode. And
At
then
least.
Hit me back.
But the funny thing is like those same people, I guarantee you, we've had people like that. But then once they finally meet us in person and like
That's
get
the
to
thing.
talk
We've
with
never
us
not been
and
cool in
figure out
person
who
with
we
somebody.
are, they're like, oh my God, dude, you guys are fucking dope, dude. Like I fuck with you guys. But there's this
Mainly him.
perception that the internet
Yeah.
gives off, right? There's this perception that's like, these fools are some stuck up assholes that fucking don't know what they're talking about.
We just really care about our
It's
weed
just like
snobs.
weed
Weed
snobs. Yeah,
snobs.
they like to bag on people, and it's like no,
We don't enjoy this shit. It
It's not
stresses
about
us
that.
out, dude.
Yeah.
It's not why you didn't
hate
pick a
it.
fight to pick a fight.
No.
Yeah.
You're in this for reasons that you
wanted
want
someone
to be
else
in
to
this.
do it.
what made you
Nobody
guys
did it.
want to do competition?
Because we really want to find out the best.
Yeah, and it's the way.
But
It's the only way to judge
other
it.
competitions, we don't trust how it gets chosen. Not like we fuck with even the people that run other competitions, but just like who are the judges? Are they just popular, or do they have a palate that you know they have a palate, even if they have 2 followers? What are they smoking everything in one day? Wrong. Are they smoking one thing a day over and over? Still wrong. Like I've been wrong about so much shit that I thought was better than this, but then I put them side by side and it was night and day that this was better than that.
That's what I thought he was asking is
You
why
know
do
what
we
I mean?
smoke side by side?
Oh, side by side. You were
So the
asking?
reason why we
No.
smoke them side by side is because in our opinion, that's the only way to judge weed.
Yeah,
It's the only way, because inevitably what's going to happen is you're going to even if they both are fire, you're going to notice subtle differences that you wouldn't notice if you were smoking them separately.
You'll lean one way
So
or
it
the
only
other. by
makes
the
sense
end.
to do a competition.
You have to do it that way.
If you really want to
Yeah.
know what's the best, and it's not like a Grammys popularity award where you do these big shows and you get first and this and that. And yeah, from what I can remember, I think that was the best. I'm talking about nailing this shit down. It takes us a month to do a competition, smoking every single fucking day almost.
Yeah.
Like we start with, you know what I mean? This one we started with 16, but sometimes we start with 30 or 40 or something, depending on the competition. Like we won't judge for, like Za Olympics is dope. They give us 5 judges kits, 1 to smoke through and eliminate,
But it takes
4 for
us
the
so
bracket.
long because we only will smoke
what I mean?
one a day.
We won't judge.
And
We won't give an
while
opinion
everyone else
otherwise.
is like, they do their set, they invite some homies over, they do it, and they're like,
Everybody's
this one was
running the
fire, this
doinks.
one wasn't. It's like after the second doink, how do you even know what you're smoking?
Yeah.
How do you even know
We
what
won't
you're
judge
tasting?
shit after if you
I've
smoke
said
one doink.
no
we
to
won't
a
do
bunch
it.
of competitions because I was like, I have to take this responsibility seriously because all
Serious,
these
bro.
growers are putting their best
Well, you
flowers
said
in
he
these
won.
fucking things. Well, and like,
I thought it was fire.
don't just have homies smoke and be
Yeah.
like, what do you think? And then write a number down. Like, I know how my heart was in some of these competitions where you're like, you know, you're thinking about it and it's like, if for someone just to write it off, and that's where you've been there.
And
most
be
growers,
harsh.
where you're like, how the fuck did this guy win?
Yeah.
You're like, I smoked that.
See, there's people on the internet that are harsh as fuck on their reviews, right? But they don't take that shit actually really seriously. It might not be their first smoke. They might not have rolled it perfectly and re-rolled it because something was a little off. They might not have lit it right, smoked it right, held it right, twisted it right. All the little things that could fuck up the experience, they might not have done that, but they're still online talking shit. So we're harsh, but we're also going to make sure every little tiny fucking thing is thought about in our harshness. You know
I
what
like this because if you're doing a real competition, maybe it's a 5 gram batch, so you can roll one right now, either eliminate it, or if it goes on to the next round, roll another one up.
Yeah.
Or it's tough
We get
because
5 kits of eighths, so 5
There you
eighths per strain, and 6 if there's a wild card that can't fit in the bracket that's
Yeah.
dueling off. And like the Emerald Cup, cool event. I've always went. Blah blah blah, bro. What? They were throwing shit away before even smoking it, just off the smell because it wasn't unique enough. Like Triple Indy didn't make it in the top 25 two years ago in the Emeralds Cup. Stizzy was 5th, but didn't make it in the top 25 because it was dessert. So they threw it out. It wasn't unique enough. So we just want to make a competition for the community like us who is focused on smoke. You know
I
what
know
I mean?
you, and I know you had said maybe there's some growers out there that kind of feel a certain way about us. When taking all that into consideration for them getting into these competitions, we're the people that actually give them the most thorough review and the most respect and appreciation of their time.
Especially
we're not
when
the
it's
dudes
fire,
out there
dude.
blowing it off and acting like it's nothing.
Well, this
we
is
take it
smoking
seriously.
cool.
We do a good job, So I think we're cool to the growers.
I mean, look, sometimes we're not, but also, especially with the really pricey shit, dude. That's the only thing it's
that's
hard
a
to have patience
that's
for.
a different ballgame.
Because how could you? So talk about any other $1,600 zips, you guys?
Well, so there's a couple, but so his is nothing's worth that. I believe it can be worth $1,600 a zip just off of laws of economy. You know what I'm saying? Just straight up. What are you, if you don't believe it's worth it, how are you going to be the one to tell all these people that are paying the money for it that it's not worth it and tell them to stop buying it? It's literally a free market, dog. Who the fuck are you to decide it's worth 400? Some people are like, shouldn't be more than 300. Some people say 6. Who's the right one, dude? It's what it sells for.
It's your choice as a consumer.
Yeah. Don't show up and buy it.
If they're selling it out at that, then more power to them.
Yeah, and it makes all the people around here trying to get 400 for their zip like, oh,
you might get me once, like you won't get me twice, though.
Exactly.
I'll tell you what.
That's kind of how I look at it.
It blows our mind though when we see it.
Yeah.
The one I'm gonna shout out this. The one that I've purchased that I thought I got my money's worth the most. We just talked about earlier. Elephant's Growth.
Yeah, dude.
I was gonna say the same thing.
800 is it, and I was fucking happy.
Super fire.
I was happy.
I was one of the few.
Solid individual too.
The other ones I've been highly disappointed.
Yeah, a lot of them.
I know there's some better ones.
I've had the batch, I've had good batch of whatever, but I've had a really good batch.
So have you? So when you find it, give it to me because I would love to do a good episode.
I haven't had it much. It's okay. Those batches and like some of that stuff, it makes it to like their outer circle. So like with elephant stuff, I'm like one off from somebody, right? So it would get dropped and I would be there to be able to see the batch hands off, like just straight from him. So I got to smoke some stuff and then also watch it cure.
Yeah.
And smoke it throughout its cure process. The 41 I really liked. It's not 41 for people understanding it's its own thing.
Yeah, it's not 41, but yeah, for sure.
And then
it's better than 41, I think, almost.
Yes, I agree.
It's like they're downplaying it by calling it 41. They should have called it something else.
I always said that.
I want to say to Nemo too, like the seed, you know how we found seeds? I would have took those seeds out and if it would have smoked, it wouldn't have been mids busted. I don't give a fuck. We'll take the seeds out because we pick it out like that. Yeah. And most people that are breaking their weed down finally will be able to find those seeds. And honestly, if anybody hears about another batch that's smoking, would love to smoke it. We're not out here trying to hate. And like people think we're trying to give bad reviews for clicks and shit.
Yeah.
Totally not, dude. It stresses us out so much when we get bad reviews. Like we have to we literally like look at each other like, oh, fuck, dude.
The issue with seeds, though, is that flower is never going to be exceptional, in my opinion, because that flower, that plant stopped producing product, flower, trichomes, terpenes, all that, and started to producing offspring.
Yeah.
Right.
And so there was a transition made at some point where you can't do both at the same time exceptionally. The plant doesn't do that.
Hypothetically, if it would have smoked somehow, but I agree 100% with that. Yeah. So
we've had some amazing batches that look like, what the fuck is this? And then you find some seeds in it. I still remember one for us.
Yeah. Here and there. It happens.
But you feel a certain way though when you spend that type of money and then the weed doesn't smoke, right?
Yeah. But like, dude,
it's got seeds.
Yeah, but then you start to question yourself.
The shit's got seeds in it. It can't go for the same price. Typically,
right?
Usually.
Well, and that's why the consumer needs an education, and they can pick and choose what they want, right? Like I watch you guys' content, and I'm like, okay, the grind makes. I love that you have a control. Whenever you do an experiment, you always have a control.
That's the main thing.
And so when you say side by sides with flour, the next thing would be. Too bad you can't preserve a batch, but it's like, okay, the 1996 Dom Perignon is this exceptional batch of champagne. Now everything has to go against that because that's your control.
That's the top. That's why the third eye is not the best Z because I can't take it back in time and beat the best Z that I think, but I think maybe it could, dude. If I could go back to that batch.
I think that batch was better.
I just don't know because I've been wrong so many times that I don't trust my memory like that. You know what I mean?
People need to know we're celebrating this plant.
Yeah.
This whole thing, what you guys do, it's in celebration of these amazing batches and the hard work that gets put in and like just the exceptional, I mean, just the genetics alone that come across you guys' plates, insane.
Yeah. I mean,
besides the batch, right?
Yeah. Honestly,
batch over genetics for us
often. We're like what was it when we got back from New York and we started filming the next day when somebody came in the comments and said,
oh yeah, it ain't
he says, God damn, you guys are back at work already. And we look at each other, we're like, bro, we get to smoke some of the best weed on earth for work. Like, it's not that hard of a job,
but it's honest work.
It's not much, but it's honest work. You know, someone's got to do it.
Yeah. No, but fuck, I mean, like Third Eye Air Pack 1 review, top 2 for me Z's of all time. Next review. We're not out here trying to like dog people. We're just blindly spitting out of our mouth what's in our head before thinking about if we should say it or not. Basically, like consistently on the internet.
Review.
Well, think about it for consumers. Think about it like a vineyard. You're saying the 1996 batch was the one you had, but you're like the other batches I've had from this vineyard weren't the same or weren't up to this par, right?
Yeah.
And
how do you split hairs with years in between? You know, if they're both excellent, how do you go and do that? You know,
Can't go back in time.
It's like trying to decide who the best fighter of all time is. It's like, all right, bro, here we go.
Yeah.
You know?
Bruce Lee versus Anderson Silva.
Yeah,
You're like,
what would have happened? I don't know.
Yeah. How did you guys meet?
This is a good one.
Yeah. So we met originally at that meeting, just in passing, just kind of a what's up thing. So when I was leaving Connected and they were having their own sales team, he was at a meeting that I was at. So just a brief meeting, I think we followed each other there.
Like this was early 2018. So he was handling pre-legalization and then me and my wife got hired to help handle the legalization.
And then
so in trade-off kind of thing.
One day I'm online and I'm chilling and I got people that obviously I still do work, you know, on the side, and I got people looking for things and stuff. And so he posts something and it was a pack of Gelinade that he had.
Smalls.
Yeah. So I hit him up and I was like, you got that still? And he's like, yeah. Cause I was like, all right, you know, I would like to get that. You know, where you at? And he's like, fuck, I just left the office. We met in Sacramento. He's like, I just left the office. I'm already home. And I'm like, fuck. He's like, it's kind of far. I'm like, where do you live? And he's like, Fairfield. I'm like, I live in Fairfield. Where do you live at? And he sends me his address. Lives 12 houses down from me.
Oh, bro, we're on the same street.
Way.
Yeah.
So
like we're
search partners right away.
Wow.
Yeah. So immediately, you know,
every single day
we start linking every
from
day
that point
and just
on. It's
burning in,
2018.
and then that's where we
did this for 4 years before filming
this is
it.
where the comparison started coming in. This is where the us going out, we were custies. We're just buying all of the best weed we could possibly find. You know, shout out White Ashes, you know, Bay Area flavors, you know, Doja, you know, everybody that was feeding us, you know, and giving us the batches of all the new shit that was out.
Straight
so we
Flame.
could sit down and Straight Flame and NorCal, you know, Matt, NorCal, everybody that was giving us everything and allowing us to put things side by side and kind of figure this shit out before we even got started.
Yeah. So it's like we eventually, you know, shit was really smoking, dude. And then a couple years in, late December 2021.
Yeah.
It was like, fuck, bro, nothing's smoking no more. What's going on? And they kept telling us it was smoking. People kept telling us this shit's blowing, dude. You got to try it. It's even more than the last time. It's 450 instead of 400. We're like, take my money. Give me the fucking batch, dude.
Yeah.
If it's the one and then it's smoking like coal. And we're like, yo. And then that happened like 6 times in a row with multiple different people. And we're like, fuck it, we're starting a page, bro.
Yeah.
You can't keep getting away with this.
Somebody has to be held accountable for this.
Yeah.
There's not a space
like
in this industry where people can like go to just be like, hey, is this fire or not? And trust that they're not being like just sold something because it's the homie that grows it or whatever. No, completely non-biased. Just this is fire. This is not for the consumer. This is where you should spend your money. Not saying you shouldn't spend it here, but this is an amazing place to spend your money.
No feedback is spared from friends or reserved from enemies.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Just literally raw. The weed is separate. All right. If we don't like you, that's fine. I'll still follow you and learn from you and shit, but I might not fuck with you. But the weed, whatever you grew here, it didn't do what you did. You know what I'm saying? We're going to be nice and fair to the weed specifically.
And that's why in our bracket, if you noticed, we put all of our homies against each other.
Like
that's
right
why
away.
we did Preferred against Good Pizza. That's why we did, you know, Blueprint against Good Pizza. That's why
Green Dog.
Green Dog. You know, that's why we did these, is it's like people are already going to think we're biased. So we might as well put our homies against each other. And it's hilarious because when we do, they know.
Like
JP comes in and he's like, fuck, we're on the chopping block today. Fuck. Like he knows our friendship is aside the second we sit down. It's like your weed's either going to outsmoke his or he's going to outsmoke you. That's the way it's going to happen. And you're going to have to deal with it.
Yeah. Like Greasy could outsmoke Jordan on a given batch, bro.
Yeah. Straight up.
Like, and I would say it straight up with no hesitation at all, dude. I swear we'll slit our wrists before we're biased, dude.
It's about the plan.
I swear. So
I like that.
That's why we do the side by side.
If your weed gets picked, I will say, you know, you get a little nervous.
Yeah, I know.
Dude,
I have people
It's a good sign. Like, wait, what? Especially when you find out third party, you're like, hold on, wait,
because we're involuntary. Because we've hit up a lot of growers, and since we are the way we are on the show, obviously nobody saw that DM every time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so the way we roll is we just go get it, bro. We pay full price and we go get it. And then now the connects.
It's almost on like some
we're doing
secret
this for
shopper.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is for us. This is
It's
for
like
the
what
consumer.
you
You're like, you'll get
Like,
access to it.
Yeah.
Do you ever get people
That's
who
what
are
drove. That's what when I did a review, and I'm not even gonna shout him out, but that's what drove him nuts was the fact that, bro, it doesn't matter. You're selling it for that. Like, I'll have access to it. Yeah, if I pay what you're wanting, like I have full access to it as a consumer.
That have access to it, that'll get it with simplicity for me.
We got scouts now, dude. We got people all over the place.
Yeah,
the second we talk about a strain, there's 50 people in the DM.
We just hook them up with tips, bro.
I'll drive it through.
Yeah, but now this is the issue I've run into is I'll be places and I'll go to grab something and then I'll have a talk given to me about like, hey man, if you're gonna have this and talk about it, like I can't sell it to you.
Yeah, that's when you get your homie together.
And I'm like, for real? And they're like, yeah, it's like comes with stipulations. And I'm like,
isn't that weird though?
Yeah, because as a grower, I've done. Once you put it out there, it's just like anything, a shirt, right? A design, a piece of art. Once it's out there, you're bringing all criticism on, and and all praise.
Yeah.
So because you went into it for praise, hopefully that's what you get. But I mean, not always.
Yeah, best thing you do is just keep it real about your shit, dude.
Yeah,
and let people smoke it. And
that's why we constantly turn down batches of our own weed. It's because it's like,
especially with a target on our back,
standard, bro. We're not money hungry. We're not going to sit here and just be like, oh, we're going to put it out because we got to make a couple bucks. We can't wait till the next harvest. No, fuck it. We're going to die on our sword and be like, nope, we're not taking that batch.
Starve it out.
Yep, we'll starve it out till the next batch.
But you know, like,
it is.
And when some shit is like, you know, like I would give our Z right now like a 9.0, 9.1. Great virgin on like really good. Like I wouldn't put it up there with the 9.4, 9.5s, nothing like that. It's got like, you know, it's got some dialing to do. So we'll just, and then that's all the feedback, unless somebody rolled it with a mill or another grinder or hand broke it or something. That's the feedback I get too, or rolled it too loose or whatever. It's a problem because you want to be customer servicey.
Yeah, but that's a big problem. Because a lot of people, it's not smoking, but then you go look at their page and you see their doinks and you're like, well, of course it's not.
Yeah.
And you're smoking it right there in front of you.
Have you guys done videos of like how to roll a proper doink and everything?
Yes, and we've also done videos that show you a difference between a loose roll, a roll that's too tight, one that's rolled just right. We show you the difference in the way that they burn. All the exact same strain that's put in every single one with the exact same tip. We'll show you with a caliper. We measure the tips, all the tips, to show you that the tips are even the same size.
We're getting
the same pull, same taper out of every single tip. We take out every variable that there possibly could be.
Even the palate is a variable.
Yeah.
Because like today I might be more dehydrated than I was yesterday. And if I smoked something yesterday and today, the day that I was more dehydrated, it might be a little harsher.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Damn, you're even, what did you consume before?
Yeah. Exactly.
Were you just drinking a Gatorade? Did you just eat something crazy for breakfast that was spicy?
Even if you did though, side by side with a spicy palate, that's controlled.
Yes.
This one's better than this one, both with a spicy palate. So that's another control variable side by side.
Yeah.
It's like, there's no way to fuck it up really.
So someone comes up to you and hands you a jar of weed and is like, hey man, I got 2 lights. I'm a new grower.
Mm-hmm.
What do you? This is obviously how.
Welcome to 5 times a day.
No, yeah, I mean, dude.
And so when they're waiting for your feedback, and you know it ain't smoking just based off of looks and smell, because most of it 70% you can go off of like.
I've been surprised enough, but yeah, I agree with you. But I've been surprised enough now where I genuinely don't even smell or look at it. I just go for sure. I'm gonna let you know this entire backpack is full of shit right now just from this event. We can only smoke something for feedback once a day. So we have 28 opportunities about a month to smoke something. There's a chance I might fucking randomly just smoke it on a live one day, like at night or something. Yeah. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to smoke it, but I appreciate it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because that's real. Like there's like, we get at least probably 500, 600 messages.
What do you do with all the samples?
Bro, we have shelves.
Yeah, dude, you have no idea.
You
have no idea.
Bro.
It's gross.
Yeah, we end up.
It's honestly gross.
Some shit his mom will end up smoking on.
Send it to some veterans or something.
My mom and dad usually I'll give it to and fucking lace them up with some shit.
Yeah, if it's something we've tried that we got more than 1/8, because if anybody's gonna give us some shit, 1/8 max, because we're not gonna probably try more than one. If we try it once, that's why we made Fast Track, bro. That's the one way we do make money off the reviews. Is like everybody says they got the most fire weed in the world.
Yeah,
that's how we found
you to try it.
Life Sauce and Up the Hill. Up the Hill was like, hey bro, we just got a notification. He didn't even hit me up first. He bought a Mythbusters and a PSL. I'm like, bro, you only got to buy one. You know?
Yeah, he bought both episodes.
And fucking was like, our shit's better than everything right now. Fucking let's go. And I'm like, all right, bet.
And that's our favorite shit from everybody. When a grower just fucking throws their nuts on the table and it's just like, yo, bro, I'm willing to put my shit up against anybody's. And not only am I willing to do it, but here, I'm going to pay you to show you that my shit's better.
That just clears the noise.
Like for this competition, fuck, who we were talking about earlier, he's out of weed right now. He didn't even have anything. He made a phone call, bought some of his own weed back at full price.
It was browning.
Gave it to
Oxidized.
us and said, no, you're good. I'm still going to outsmoke everybody. And this motherfucker wasn't lying.
Hella nonchalant, too.
I love
Knew it.
that shit.
Just
I
knew it.
love that, dude. We don't want to give bad reviews.
But we
when
didn't
that
think-
happens, it's like, let's go, dude.
We didn't think Up the
Let's
Hill,
go.
though,
This
was
is
going
what
to be
we want.
fire. We thought it was going to be boof.
We did because
It
it's
was
spongy.
wet and spongy. We're like, this is going to be rough.
Yeah.
And it's our first fast track customer. Fuck, dude, we're going to have to dog the first fast track. Everybody's like, well, that's how that goes, dude. So
Yeah, so
I'm not going to do
paying for
that.
again.
And then we barred up.
That's
But it was double-edged sword.
Thank God. Thank
Yeah.
God.
So there's got to be an approval process, and you say send a sample if it can. You
No
know,
approval,
No
bro.
approval process.
If you're in
if you
fucking,
think you got it, you got it.
If you can
pay
get
the
it to
ticket,
us,
we'll do it for you.
we will.
Yeah.
If you want to pay
But
us to
harsh
smoke
review,
sprinkles,
that's it.
But
might.
it's real and it's wrong.
You know what I'm saying? We might double, but we
That's
might.
that's exactly like, here's my sprinkles review. I want to,
Look.
I want to do it. Double. We're giving them ideas now.
But I'll spark it. Nope. Put it out. Double the charge and yeah, I'll fucking smoke some sprinkles,
Yeah.
dude. Go ahead with the fast shots.
Yeah.
What do you think
Anything you
about,
guys want us to
what do you
smoke?
guys think about the fake terp stuff?
Oh, horrible. I honestly hate even giving it
I
attention.
smelled it for the first time in my life in
Horrible.
New York. So I've heard about it, right? So I'm walking by. So check it out. I'm walking by. We're walking through Washington Square Park and it's so packed, dude. It's fucking shoulder to shoulder. And I just smell this like tropical fruit smoke smell. And it immediately makes me look to the left thinking, I live in Cali like you guys, you know, fucking vapes. You know, I look over
Somebody's
thinking,
hitting an AC
I'm
unit
thinking,
over there,
somebody
dude.
just hit one of them fucking vapes. And I look over and this dude's smoking a fucking blunt, blowing this shit out. And I'm like, sprayed terps. They do exist.
And there's
Like,
different
dude,
types,
that's a
right?
Trip, dude.
Yeah.
There's like natural spray terps, right? And then there's like the fucked up shit, which is what you were spelling.
Artificial.
I've never
There's
tried
no
the
way.
natural shit.
Yeah.
Watermelon.
Have you?
That's
got that at
rare.
the
Most people,
bodega.
it's fake shit.
Have you tried anything from sprayed terps,
Yes.
natural side, that you would say is even worth even talking about?
No, God,
okay,
no.
okay. I'm just making
Dude,
sure.
We
I try
have,
to keep an open mind.
We have people that will
know.
come up to us talking about their brand and about how hard they work on it, and then we'll hand us. I can usually tell damn near from the bags because they're always the stickered bags. And then the flavor is like chocolate mousse cake or some crazy ass shit where like I've been growing 20 years.
That's so
I
specific,
mean,
dude.
like, but it really is, or it's like, it's some shit where you're like, what? You know, tiramisu, and you're like, tiramisu weed. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just like, what strain, bro?
Just running out of desserts here.
And we get handed some shit, and I'm always like, we've had a lot of terped up stuff because we travel around a good amount.
New York, they
New
like
York,
that shit.
Texas. We got handed some stuff in Vegas at MJ BizCon that, I mean, literally like 20 bags. And then when I got it back, I was like, oh, every single one of these is
Shit, they were trying to
20
get you,
different.
dude.
You know, I was just like, what the fuck?
They were trying to get you,
But
have you smoke it on the show.
It disheartens me because it's like, it's just a trick. It's a trick that consumers are falling for. And it's a trick.
Are they for real?
Oh, dude,
So
New York,
I-
they're
so
choosing it over.
I thought it was just like the struggling, like the challenged
no.
individuals in
People
the
are
game that
picking
don't
it.
know anything
I
at all.
didn't tell you that the homie Isaiah
People actually smoke
the
this shit.
homie Isaiah told me people are getting $6K for those sprayed packs in New York.
Fuck out of here.
Yeah.
$6K. People
Big brands are
buying them.
co-signing them now.
Yeah,
now you're
people
seeing
are
certain
buying them,
brands
bro.
saying
They're
like,
making more
this
money
is
than
real
everybody.
shit.
Oh, this is comedy.
Pac,
We
you
gotta start
speak on it a
raising
little
more
bit.
against the spray
Yeah.
pack.
Yeah.
Pac
I was
knows a
just trying
little
to
bit
ignore it because I figured it was maybe like 1% of the market
No,
stupid enough to smoke that shit. But it's,
No. Like sprinkles
legit.
when they drop, like all these brands when
I
they
thought
drop.
it was like a meme and they
That's
just like
fucking
had a
crazy, dude.
drop.
They
I
fucking
didn't know it was
sell
like
out.
this. Damn, bro, I stay so far out
For
of the
people that
fucking
actually
loop.
know what good weed is and smoke good weed, doesn't that blow your mind that people fall for that?
It's the younger smokers.
I think that makes what we do
they
that
want
much
it.
more important
They
about
want it
educating
because
people.
the thing about it is it smells. It tastes like it smells. And then
So
when
they're
you
looking for
smoke
Artificially
it,
checks the box
But
of
yeah,
accuracy.
Yeah, exactly. So they're looking for accuracy, right?
Yeah, but it also
and they're getting it artificially through the way they're doing it, and they're not actually spraying it. They're like
Hey, but
vaporizing
you know what?
it.
That goes back to this generation, you know, and instant gratification and growing up on fucking tablets and shit like that. Not, you know what I'm saying, dude?
Yep.
I got kids, bro. You know, I got an 11 and a 10-year-old at home that are about to be
Would they
11
fall
and
for
12.
sprinkles, bro?
Fuck no. All
right.
I raised him smarter than that.
He comes home one day and he's like, "What is this?"
That'd be the worst punishment that he could ever dish out is if he caught his kid with sprinkles.
My kids have grown up around nothing but fucking fire, dude. Like, there's no way.
I'm sure they have never seen it though.
No, never.
Paul's like, "Now I'm buying a pound of this. You got to smoke the whole pound in front of me." No, I mean, it's sad.
Describe your experience with it though.
Oh,
Like
you're
on the
getting
palate.
fooled. Oh, I mean, it's fake. Remember,
Like
back in the
harsh as
day,
fuck or
the
what?
old hustler trick was buy the Tasty Puff, throw a couple dots inside of a turkey bag, and take some old unit or something that looked pretty and terp it up with the blueberry Tasty Puff. We used to always be like buyer beware on packs.
Mm-hmm.
You would be smelling shit and you'd be like, "Are these fucked with?"
Yeah.
Right? You would, and obviously, like, sometimes the plug doesn't even know because they're coming down the line.
Was this
And
in Cali or was this?
No, this is in on the East Coast.
Okay.
And
Yeah. I'm just wondering. I'm just wondering if this was happening here.
no, but
Okay.
like that Tasty Puff shit. And so it's just a reincarnation of that. Of like the thing that gets me is that what leans into it is the flavored blunt wraps and the vapes.
Oh,
so people
also,
who are
we
already
grew up on
smoking blunt
flavored
wraps and
blunt
vapes are
wraps.
like, yeah, fuck
Yeah,
it.
if you're smoking swishers at this point, you might as well be smoking sprinkles.
Oh, you might as well be smoking
Because you
crack.
don't give a
What are
What if
talking
you're
about?
smoking flavor backwoods and you're like, I'm
Flavor
already
backwoods.
smoking a peach
Hey,
backwood.
hey,
I
that's
want
the
peach
majority
That's
of the market.
Owned by swishers.
Yeah, no lie,
And
no lie.
It's all got like 52 ingredients or some crazy
It's
shit.
glorified through
Like,
hip hop. That's why, and it has been for years about the blunts. But like overall experience and health
see it
wise, like
burning
there is
weird.
no substitution and different. It's such a difference.
Yeah.
What do you think for people that say like I can't get good weed, so I buy the terped up shit?
God
Hey,
bless you,
live
dude.
your life,
God
player.
bless you. I
Right.
don't know. I don't know what to
That
tell
shit
you.
burns.
life.
We don't have a
bone white,
solution
too.
for everything.
Yeah.
We're just
It
saying what
burns
it is.
bone white too.
Yeah.
Really?
That's another side effect
So
of
they're
it.
getting bamboozled.
Oh shit! They think they're on
They're
it.
getting double bamboozled.
I need to see this. Okay, I have a guy, right? I'm not going to smoke it, but I will air it. I have a guy in Proper Doinks.
Oh
Okay.
shit!
He's the homie. He back when I lived over there, he was renting a room, and when we were living down 12 doors down, right?
Yeah.
And so we all three would just smoke every fucking day. So he developed a crazy ass palate, and he didn't even smoke before he met me. And so this is my prime example of somebody who he would be a pickier smoker than a dude growing for 30 years that wasn't smoking for the palate next to being shown it. Now this motherfucker's pickier than us almost, but he
Yeah.
will smoke anything also. And he smokes woods. He's a savage. He'll smoke whatever, but he understands good weed though. So we can fucking have him come on and smoke some sprinkles.
He came on the episode the other day for his birthday. He shows up we're probably in the episode, and he shows up and we're like, come grab a chair. So he comes in and he sits down. What's up, everybody? So I say, what's up? Hey, the episode cuts, right? The doinks were both fire, and they're like roaches.
They're a little harsh now.
Yeah,
they're
harsh
they're
at this
done,
point.
dude.
They're like roaches. And I go to set him down. We're cut. The camera's off. I go to set him down, and this fool's like, the fuck do you think you're doing on my birthday, bro?
No, he's like,
On my
he's like,
birthday?
Paul's acting up on my
Paul's
birthday,
acting
dog.
up on my
Putting the
birthday,
roaches
and then
down.
he's like, give me those roaches. He
Smokes them for like 10 more minutes,
sits
bro.
there and continues to smoke them.
I'm like, God damn, dude. There's
shout
literally
out
like
to
this
homie
much left on
Dave.
it, dude. Yeah. So maybe we'll get a sprinkles episode with Improper Doinks, dude. We'll see what's
You
up.
guys should test the terp flower. What's the best terp flower?
I would like to. I swear. You can imagine if you had the terp off. You have the terp off, dude. You got
Our
four.
people will be so mad though, dude.
Don't cash out.
Our people will be so mad at us. Dude. Hey,
For real.
all right, I'll tell you what, we're gonna 10x the fast track, dude. If they pay the fast track fee, $4,200.
Yeah,
Oh, they're getting
Sprinkles.
$6,000 and
Yo,
$8,000
sprinkles,
pounds.
reach out.
You heard it right here.
Cut the
dude. I'll
check.
smoke that shit.
Yeah,
for
They're paying these
4,200.
rappers a lot of bread.
4,200 each.
We won't even tax. Yeah. That's what I meant.
4,200
That's what
each.
I meant. No.
There you go.
We'll get the marshmallow
Our
pack
people would be
on the
pissed
way.
at us, dude. We'd be in trouble with the community.
Yeah, we would.
We smoke
dude.
some spray.
Hardcore
I mean, they don't want you to be
following and shit on us.
successful. Hell no. Don't talk about no good shit, man.
Proper Doinks marshmallow pack.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Somebody
chocolate
would, like, freeze
marshmallows.
the screen and shit, and that would be like the new meme going around us smoking sprinkles
Oh,
or
straight
something.
up.
Yeah.
Straight up.
For sure.
What do you think about taking money for advertising?
It's a sticky
platform.
one, dude. It changes per platform.
Us personally, we wouldn't take a sponsorship unless it wasn't something that we actually used. we're big on obviously telling the truth, right, and representing what we represent. And I think that should, definitely reflect the same in our sponsors, which is why we have the sponsors that we do have and the sponsors that we don't have.
Yeah. It's like, so for you guys, like if I was running a podcast, bro, I'd be, who wants to sponsor, bro? You know what I mean? Like what the fuck? There's nothing wrong with that. You're a show online. You know what I mean? Taking
Even
sponsors.
that though, we turn down 10 times what we accept, and it's we literally have to have combos of like,
you gotta walk a thin line.
do we know
you start
the
to
owner?
realize
Is this a longevity
all the
that
competitors are all connected?
Yeah.
And you basically, just got to choose a side, and fucking, it is what it is.
No, I mean, it gets tough no matter what.
But you got to analyze what do you actually use, what's going to connect with the audience.
You can hear it in your voice when you're talking that advertisement. You know what I mean? If you really believe in it, you can tell, dude.
Yeah.
You can see it in someone's eyes when they don't really believe in it and they're just running a fucking script. And we don't want that stress.
Yeah.
That's stressful, bro. You know what I mean? Like, I just want to actually believe. So we have 3 sponsors only. Hella more offers, just Element, Grow Bags, and Fave and Lighting.
How much easier is it to sell something that you're passionate about? Right? When you're actually passionate about something because you use it, those commercials come so easy.
Yeah.
Bro, because you're it's off the hip. You don't even have to script anything or anything. You're just like, yo, use this because this is what it does for me.
And our bio literally says one thing, the highest standard.
Yep.
Flavor and smoothness. So what the fuck do we look like? Like if we don't truly believe it's the highest standard of something, like what are we doing?
Yeah, what are we doing, right?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so our sponsorship could change at any point in time. We find out some fucked up shit about a sponsor, done, dude. Like something's better. Like we're not necessarily like super loyal to the sponsors, and we tell them this. We're like, dude, while you're the best thing, all good. As soon as somebody makes something better, please try to make something better again.
Yeah,
because
we're not married to anybody.
Like, whoever the best is.
I like that's a good position to have coming into it with the upper hand with a sponsor instead of battling. You know, and that's you learn that over time too.
And
what
they know the ads actually mean something.
Yeah,
at
because
that
our
point,
sponsors
if we
see
don't
our
sell
passion
out.
for their product. I mean, shit, you got to think Grove and everybody before they were even sponsoring us. You know,
They just sponsored us this month for the first time.
Yeah, before they were even sponsoring us, we were already telling everybody about it, and we were already plugging it on.
We
our
use
show.
Fave and Lighting for the Z.
Yeah.
There we
I mean,
go.
we're constantly plugging it because it's like this is what we use. So we're
I can't get him off Elements if I tried, dude. I tried to get him on every other paper. I've tried OCBs,
Who,
Vibes.
Bobby?
You.
Oh, me?
Off
No,
these
yeah.
Elements, dude.
No, that's not happening.
And like before we spark him, he's like, I don't like it. Like every time I can't get him off.
It's a different feel, but then am I not right though? I mean, like we smoke them side by side with other ones, like even like we did the ethereals, you know, not that the ethereals are bad, not at all.
They were just smaller so they couldn't make a bigger doink.
I'm interested to see what you guys
So they
think of
didn't
this
last as long.
now that you're
I'm
able to try
super
the
interested in
king
this,
size
yeah.
wide raw blacks.
I will definitely let
I
you
think
know.
that's probably closer to the Elements than the ethereal. As far as like in what you're looking for, but I'm interested. We're
like
Elements
the ethereal.
too.
It's just the doink was so much smaller that it couldn't show off the flavor as much. Because an eighth, I swear, and this is a big debate, an eighth is prime, maybe 3 grams, prime flavor town.
Yeah.
It's the best way to display the fucking product, I think. And it's a very specific
That's the
reason.
proper doing.
Yeah, that's our
3
product.
grams.
12 millimeter,
3 to 3.5. Yeah,
3.5 grams and a 12 millimeters.
And
What
a
are you going to do with the
12
extra
millimeter
0.5?
tip right here.
You roll it up. You know,
Yeah,
you might as
12
well
is a
roll it
big
up,
one, but if you're going 3 grams plus, it makes total sense.
That's like pretty much the only.
We have some specialty ones that we have that are some fucking like when we go to events and
Cannons,
shit. Yeah,
bro.
that we roll cannons
like
with.
10 gram doinks,
like a 10 gram,
which is how we figured out an eighth is the
You
best
guys got to
size.
drop some hand rolls.
We did not last year. Was it not
2
last
years
year?
ago.
2 years ago on
420, 2 years
420.
ago. Sent
We need
them
to
to you.
redrop some more of those because for the
got
people
them,
that
and
can't,
they made them out.
yeah.
They actually made them. They made them here. They made them to LA on 420, but they also made them to New York. And so, like, I don't know how that happened, but somehow it did, and it ended up being a big success. Everybody that we gave them to was hitting us back like, "Yo, those things were fire." And
It's just tough to do rolls, bro, because we'll re-roll that shit. It takes us 10 times longer to roll
We're
a doink
such
than anyone we know.
perfectionists, dude. Yeah, and we're not rollers.
We kind of
don't
suck
have
at this shit.
speed.
We're just stubborn.
The weed's
You know
probably
what I mean?
expensive. Then you guys are putting glass tips in it.
We're gonna have to sell these for
come
over
on,
$200.
Yeah,
They're
exactly.
With the
expensive
tip and
tips.
the type
They're
of weed we
expensive
buy.
doinks,
We're not
yeah.
rolling up smalls, dude. We're never gonna do that. The type of hash that we would put in a hash hole, nobody ever wants to actually put in a hash hole because it's so expensive and fire.
Everybody would want to dab it and sell it
And
for
we're not
fucking
going to
$200
do
a jar. You
Let's
know
talk
what I'm
about
saying?
hash holes on that note, bro, because this is a
Yeah.
big one, dude. While we're on doink.
Oh, everyone wants to use smalls and everyone wants to use 40.
Well, the hash
that's the big part is the hash. People think, oh, you're using it for hash holes. Then they start showing you a bunch of bullshit, and you're like, yeah, bro, like I'm going to be smoking these fucking things too.
Well, dude,
I want to put the good hash in it.
if you have
Even if it's got to be
hash, right?
more, it's like I'll just make less or
Yeah.
I'll figure it out.
Exactly.
Right?
I'll break it. We broke even on
know
our
what I'm
rosin we dropped just to bring
dude.
the terps. But before we get to the rosin, dude, shitty hash, right? Say you dab it out of a rig. The best way you can fucking get it, low temp quartz, fucking the perfect experience, and it's harsh out of that.
Yeah.
What do you think it's going to do in a doink? You think it's going to get better in a way worse way to consume it?
Way worse.
So it's like, if it's not amazing out
Way
of a
worse.
rig, why the fuck would you put it in a doink? Like, you know what I mean?
I've had rollers tell me like, dude, you should have seen what these dudes dropped off for me. Like basically
bro.
trying to turn trash into something. And he's like, I had to explain to them like, no, like look what these other brands are putting in there. So like a lot of it too is don't use smalls. So many brands want to come in and charge the high and then use smalls. And then people are like, oh, I'm kind of good on hash holes. They burn a little harsh or this and that. And it's like, it's just like anything. It's who did you get it from?
Commercial
Who's the flower
versus artisanal, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like,
Exactly.
yeah, I don't want nothing to do with, I don't want to get caught up in the hash hole game. Like if I got caught up in the rolling game, it would be for like 4 people who really appreciate it, who can give me hella feedback on it. And it would be for that reason, not to make some money off rolls.
Yeah.
Like if we did rolls, it would just be to spread the love for great rolls, not to actually make money on that shit. But it would still be hella expensive, down to break even.
Yeah.
But we're going to use some crazy shit. You know what I mean? So
I see the evolution being that, and then even some type of one bite app for real. How did you meet Good Pizza?
he hit me up online, trying to get some blueprint.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then went to
You're
his
like,
house.
hell yeah, 800 a zip, dog.
No zips, but yeah, fucking. But he was. I went to his house, and so I always keep a little bit of bad weed on me, just in case. Like I gotta go, like, yo, compare this and this, and show that because if you're smoking fire weed on its own, you might just think, oh, today my lungs are strong, I'm not coughing. But when you smoke it next to what you're used to smoking, what you used to think was fire, then you're like, oh my God, that's a huge difference. And you just don't even want to hit the other one anymore that you would usually finish. But now that your palate's seen the difference, you won't. So that night, I just sat down with Good Pizza and we rolled up a couple things. I rolled up some blueprint. And that's when he's like, all right, bro, they gotta grow for Good Pizza. How do we do this? This is the craziest shit ever. You know what I mean? Like, we just had some good sessions. And then, he wanted me to invite you guys too. If you ever want to tell your story, because he's like, nobody's heard them, bro.
He said he'd love to have you guys on. He said
Pack's waiting for a book. He's doing a book or something. He's doing
your guys' story.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
I'm
a long
always down.
story.
I'd love to.
This guy, you got to watch him, man. We go to talking about the stories, and I'm just like, you get wide eyed. You're like, bro, really?
I'm like, let me tell you how I
get
got
into all
here.
that shit. You know,
That's hella funny.
fuck, you got to watch this dude, man. So
How'd you meet Gotti? Because you guys have a cool partnership now.
Yeah. Also hit me up for some blueprint. Not that I had it ever.
No.
You know, just knew the Instagram page and shit. But yeah, I mean, he just, honestly, all the people that we met, actually not Jordan. Jordan I met through conspiracy theories, bro. We were fucking going at it in 2020, me and him. You know what I mean? Just oversharing. But basically, we just started talking shit on that note and then smoked together once. And then we're like, oh shit, okay, bet. Gotti came through again, same shit. Just did some side by sides. He knew what the fuck he was looking for. You know what I mean? Smoked it, and it was, you know, anytime it's like a partnership forms, it's like the weed's good, but okay, you know what good weed is. All right, I'm gonna fuck with you.
It's the like-mindedness of the search. It's the eternal search. It's meeting somebody that's also
That can
on the
appreciate
same
the
hunt
next
that you're
level.
on.
You know what I mean?
That's looking for the same thing that you're on and being like, oh, okay, I can relate to this guy. Like he understands what it's like to go through the piles of everything else to find the gem.
There's good,
you know what I'm
and
saying?
a lot of good weed impresses people, and it's cool. I'll hit it at a sesh. Might not pick it up from my head sash, but I'll hit it up. You know what I mean? But then there's great, which is like, all right, I might, depending on how great, buy it for the stash. You know what I mean? And then there's excellent, which like a lot of people haven't even fucking tried excellent. Bro, I haven't had excellent in like 2 years.
No.
Damn near. Like it's a hard one to hit. We haven't given it a 9.5
excellent I can
years,
remember
so.
was the Blueprint Olympics batch, and
That Olympics back, so Lindy was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Not this last year, but the year
Not the last
before
year,
that.
no.
Yeah.
that batch of Lindy was
Been chasing that ever since. Yeah,
That was the one they had in the Wisdom. You talking about that one? Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I judged that.
The one where they won.
Yeah, I judged that. I went through and smoked.
no, I
I know
think they
exactly
got-
what you're talking about.
They didn't win overall. They got
No, they didn't win
third
overall.
overall, but they won a couple other ones. Either way, it was all a big mix up between Wizard, Tenko, and Blueprint. You know what I mean?
Deal.
Like,
Yeah.
it's all fire. You know what I mean? But yeah, pretty much everyone we work with, that's the only thing. If there's somebody that's really advantageous to work with, like financially, but they don't really know fire weed, we just won't work with them.
Yeah, we can't.
Because if we just keep this shit genuinely about fire weed and nothing else, and we never get too excited about nothing, we just stick to this shit. Don't need to love friends and shit. Don't need to make new friends. But it doesn't have to do with fire weed. You know what I'm saying? Like the only business we have on the internet is talking about fire weed, really.
Yeah.
And anything else that'll bring attention to fire weed. You know what I mean? Like some greasy beef. No, I'm just kidding.
This guy.
Has to throw it in there always.
You know, here and there. We talk about being more mature, but you know.
Have you guys smoked
What are you gonna
anything
do,
from
you know?
any other states that really impressed you?
Yes.
Yes.
What, can you name a few?
Arizona.
Arizona's been impressive. That the project packs grow out there.
Yeah.
Shout out Bobby Bag. Shout out Faven.
Yeah.
They're a sponsor of the pod as well.
Cultivation and consumption.
We represent Faven as well.
Oh,
Big
hell yeah.
shout out.
Oh,
Fucking
yeah. Fuck yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what's up. Yeah. Who else?
I'm excited to see what they got going on out there. I mean, that's a great market too.
Bro, it was the cream smoothie that we tried out of there, right?
We're about to do the lobster bisque. from
Was
Maine.
that from? Oh, that's from Maine. Yeah.
Yeah, we're about to do the lobster bisque from Maine soon.
I hear Michigan.
Who's growing that?
I don't remember who is the cultivator.
I don't remember. Fuck, I just remember this. strain.
Everybody's so that's
Stuff,
another
bro.
cool thing about having the following that we have, right? The following
type
that
of
we
people.
have. These types of people are also, like I said, like-minded people on the same hunt.
Hunters,
So
bro.
wherever they're at in wherever state, they'll be like, dude, you have to try this. And once we hear enough noise about something, and it's like, all right,
5, 6,
we
7, 8.
gotta reach out for this now, because there's hella people saying the same thing, and it can't be a coincidence that you guys all follow us and are all on this shit and are all saying that this is the one. So we got to go get it to give it a shot.
Yeah. And Lobster made it to the office somehow. I don't even know
It
how.
did. Just randomly got dropped
CGO.
off.
CGO gave it to us.
Yeah, what's CGO?
Yeah, that's what it was. Yep.
And that's what,
Shout
Main
out,
Trees?
shout out CGO.
Is that a Main Tree
Is it
strain or
Main
no?
Trees? That rings a bell. It could be.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
don't
want to
even
say for sure
remember.
on record, but it could be.
Yeah.
He's got like a blue lobsters.
Michigan, though, dude. Michigan, I'm hearing
Yeah, this is not
hella
the blue
noise
lobster.
about.
So this is one thing
Okay.
that our chat group schooled us on. It is not the
So
blue
something
lobster. It's
different.
called lobster bisque.
Interesting.
Right.
Lobster bisque.
It's from
and
Maine.
It's from Maine.
Did you
Yeah.
pass this to me?
Let
or-
me ask you,
I
I'm
did.
going to forget this. I keep bringing back to this, is that, do you think as a brand owner, right? A lot of brands these days, before, if you had a brand, it was usually a cultivation, right? Now you see it being a tastemaker, a guy who heads up the brand. There's growers behind them. Some of them have grows. Some of them are hash makers that also have flour from their friends.
Right.
All different. Do you think there's no takeaway, or what do you think about
that's a
that?
great question.
As far as like, because a lot of people go to, well, if you didn't grow it, like, why should I even listen to you? Or they curate from a tastemaker. They have their perspective. I want to see you guys' thoughts on that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a great one. I mean, first of all, we're just basically tastemakers, so our
Yeah.
opinion, whatever. But our opinion, though, or at least mine, is there's some of the best growers in the world that nobody will know about because they don't have the right team to get them out there.
Yeah.
There's some of the best entertainers in the world that don't have the right growers, so they have nothing good to represent, so they look like a sellout.
Yep.
So it's like to really pair the right specialists in each category instead of making the grower focus on all this other shit he needs to do to become successful, and then he pulls away from the weed. And then the weed, like Jordan, he had a slump for a few months where he was having to do so much shit in the business.
Yeah.
And then he eventually was
He's
like, no,
torn
fuck
away
this, I'm
from
back
the
in the
grow.
garden.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then boom, up again. So it's like, for me, if it's working, if it's fire, then fucking dope. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, it always comes back to, all right, well, is the fucking weed fire? Are they letting you down?
Right.
You know what I mean? And if not, then what the fuck is the problem, dude?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I trust a tastemaker more than a grower half the time because they try all the weed. You know
And
what I
on
mean?
the
And they know.
aspects of them being able to be a brand and not having to grow, I don't think that you have to grow to have a brand, right? Did Jordan ever make a shoe?
Yeah.
So he can't have a shoe brand? No, he knows sneakers more than anybody probably, right?
He uses them
He's the
every
one that
day,
wore them.
yeah.
He's the one that wanted them, right?
Like what you're getting at, it's like, you're not a grower, shut the fuck up, basically. That's the most
No,
common
and just
thing
like,
we hear.
what are people's perspective? Because people
Yeah.
want to always go black or white. And I personally don't detract away from any brand, no
Yeah.
matter
What's the end
if
result?
they're a cultivation, if they actually wash their own hash. There's a lot that goes into creating such a great brand that curates great product and you're not tied to a garden. I think that's also a good thing these days sometimes, because now you're not having to ride and rock and roll with every batch, right? You can pick and choose. Like, I like the honey banana from this person. I like the Z from this person.
I'll trust a curator, bro. A good curator that'll just leave money on the table when need be. Like, I'll trust them over anybody, because here's the thing, like, what are we doing this for? Like, are growers growing for other growers? You know what I mean? So if you get a consumer minded individual that is the person you're trying to sell to lead the fucking QC and sales motion, it's like, the customer feedback's gonna be crazy.
It's a cohesive relationship.
It's a perfect flow. You know what I mean?
The first person I ever trusted with the palette thing was Nate. Shout out,
tied up, dude.
He would make me like doinks, right? Hash holes, before people were calling them hash holes.
That's how I got introduced to hash holes.
He'd make it hash holes, and sometimes he'd just make me whatever he thought would be good. And whatever he did was always amazing. I never bought, you know how you do drops? You do like drops with certain people? I've never once bought one of those. I always called him directly and would be like, what's up? And he'd be like, yeah, I got this flower, this rosin, this available.
Nerd out,
he'd make them for me. And they were amazing. His ability to pair how much rosin needed to go with how much flour, and what rosin was going to pair correctly with what flour, was second to none.
He's the biggest, dude. The biggest L the industry took is when he stopped putting out rolls.
Straight up, dude.
No, like, real talk. He would come home with a fucking little box of goods. I'm like, what's in there? He's like, I have no idea and I don't care. Like, I'm like, really? I'm like, all right, bet, we'll see. You know, I didn't know yet. And so we're sparking these things up, and they are just ridiculous. Every one of them. Like, we look at the strain, it would be like some citrus shit. I'm like, I'm gonna hate this one. Smoking, blowing, dude. Like, no, he had high standards. That's what actually made us want to start a brand. That was happening when all the batches were bad, and we were like,
and
let's do it, dude.
Me elevate my rolling game. Before I met Nate and saw those tips, saw the tips for the first time, before I saw those, he basically was, doing them in the wood ones. And then I saw those and I started asking him, like, how do you do that? Like, how are you doing that? And he would give me tips and tricks. So I'm like, hey, try this, try this, try this.
His doinks weren't always this pretty.
Oh no, dude, my doinks were garbage for so long, especially with those.
Rolled nicely garbage, though.
Starting to roll with something that these things weigh anywhere from like 4 to 6 grams, right?
That's the challenging part.
You have something that's kind of slippery because it's glass. It's in your hand with the paper. It's like 4 grams. Right? And it's this big. So the rest of the paper, this much of the paper, is another 4 grams displaced in a certain way. The weight is so off that it takes a minute for you to actually like feel comfortable with it and understand what you can and can't do. But once you get it down, and he's the one that pushed me to do that. He's the one that made me want to get better.
He actually first had the
because I'd hate it when I didn't have his rolls. I'd run out. And then I'd be like, fuck, I don't have money to buy rolls again. I have this weed though, but I can't roll it like he can. This experience isn't going to be the same. This is going to fucking suck.
Yeah, big fucking shout out.
Yeah, so then after that, it's like, all right, I got to figure this shit out.
Yeah. If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have started Proper Doinks, because he inspired us to become that trusted.
Yeah.
The way like everybody blindly trusted him with his curations.
And anybody who knows him, he wasn't accessible. He had a very small group of people that he dealt with. He wasn't an accessible person. He never was a person that showed his face, nothing like that.
Really loved this
He's
shit.
a dad like me, and he's got a job, a regular job. And so like, it's tough to kind of be in both places,
Yeah. I mean, and what a cool emergence of a new industry inside cannabis is the professional rollers.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like a brand. And then like when you have side by side, I got spoiled. I want all my shit professionally rolled now. So like I'll grab like stuff like this and I'll be like, hey man, do me a favor and roll these up.
Right. Yeah.
Because I want to smoke them rolled perfectly, or as close to that.
I trust like 3 people to roll for me. I haven't tried
rolls,
a lot.
Mike rolls.
Like Mike rolls.
Mike rolls.
Shout out to the homies.
Lemonade Blaine.
Yeah, he'd be another one.
Dude, those are the fucking guys for me.
That's about it.
And it's not that there's nobody else that can. I just got to try more people's rolls, but that's who I've tried and certified. The fucking ash is bone straight. Everything's perfect.
Consistency.
And I trust uses a flour mill, dude.
And I trust their palate. I think that's the biggest thing. I trust them when they
especially
hand me
Jake
a doink and they go, hey, I got this for you. And I look at them, I already know. I know that whatever they're giving me, they're like, you're going to like this. And I trust that.
We QC with Jake. He's like the silent assassin, bro.
Yeah, he is. Jake says 3
He'll smoke
things.
some shit. Yeah. Mids. poof, fire. That's the only 3 words he's got, dude. And if he says any of besides the 2, he just won't be hitting it
Pass
again.
him something, he'll hit it. He'll just look at you and go.
We want to have him on as a guest judge, but he won't even say nothing. He'll just be in there mid to fire.
But he's right every time. Like, me and him will be on the fence about some shit. Like, I don't know. Is it this?
Jake
is it this?
Smoke it.
Jake, what do you think? Jake will hit it mid. And then we're just like, all right, it sucks.
That's funny.
Yeah, that's
Fucking.
Is you guys' first smoke of the day usually your competitions?
Nowadays, yeah.
Yeah, that's all. That's pretty much all our smoke is.
tolerance is
Besides
going
dabbing
down.
at night, I don't know about him, but it's pretty much we don't smoke all day. We do our session. Once we're done with that, we're high out of our mind because we haven't smoked all day, and we sat down and smoked a quarter ounce the first time we smoked. So then
Some new shit that
then
our
we usually
body's not
go
used
home.
to.
We'll fucking eat and then fucking dabs for the rest of the night.
We
and that's
dab
pretty much it.
leisurely. That's what we do for ourselves.
Yeah.
Doinks turned into a job damn near. Still love it,
Wow.
especially when it's excellent. But
Yeah.
you know, Doinks is like, I mean,
I would
we
think
really
you'd be
enjoy
smoking
dabbing.
doinks off the show,
Everybody
man.
thinks that. We talk about that on our show.
Yeah.
Our followers know that because they're there all the time, but we talk about that all the time. We're like, people will be like, what's the best thing smoking right now? What are you guys smoking on? And we'll look at each other and be like,
We're dabbing right
That's
now.
why when
dude.
you guys asked
'Cause we
earlier,
smoke something
you're
new
like,
every single day.
What
It's
do
like-
you think is the best thing smoking right now? And we look at each other and we're like, there's really nothing impressing us right now, so we're taking dabs.
There is some shit
Like,
impressing us because
damn.
we forget. There is some shit impressing us, but the list of shit we got to think about, that's why we take a deep breath because we're like, fuck, dude, we got to go back through 6 months right now of trying something new every single day.
Yeah, trying to figure
know
out,
what I
wait,
mean?
was
Like-
that one super fire? Should we grab some of that? So we got some head
Is it
session?
easier to
Don't even
make?
have time to smoke.
Yeah.
Is it easier to make good hash than make good flour?
I have no idea.
Ooh, I have no idea. Yeah.
Can't even, not qualified
Yeah.
to answer that. I don't
Yeah.
know. But I will say, it kind of seems to be
It's easier to
similar.
find good hash, huh?
Yeah, I don't know though, because
I don't
what
know.
people keep telling me is good hash to me is harsh as fuck, and we're kind of feeling the same way we did about doinks with dabs right now. So we're gonna be
Have you guys
dropping.
had keeping it bubbling?
I have not yet. No.
Oh
This
my
stuff's
God.
fire, huh?
So, real quick,
Tricadelics was pretty high up on my list of like, wow, this is pretty exceptional.
Cuban
I've had
Bubble
Cuban
loves it.
Grower before. I've had his stuff that won the cups. If I go dabs, I like a good a person that knows how to do ice wax dabs where they press it out and they do the whole, that shit's like a whole different experience. But rosin, I'm just a flower person.
So I didn't like rosin until he showed me the right way to do it. Actually, Caleb from Mainstage did. He gave me the slurper, low temp,
slurper.
with some Keeping It Bubbling Z. Keeping It Bubbling, 8-year Michelin trained chef, been making hash for 23 years. Dude is probably on the spectrum when it comes
Yeah.
to his fucking
That's what you
process,
want.
bro. Yeah, 100%, dude. He's OCD and probably autistic, bro, the way he does his shit. Like, the way he even cleans his gloves before even starting was like a scientific method to
Yeah.
figure out how to do it. Like, bro, you can feel the cleanliness. Like, it's crazy. Like, that's what got me liking dabs.
the brand's called Keep It Bubbling.
Keeping It Bubbling with no G's.
Yeah.
Just at Keeping It Bubbling.
And you know, the first time you ever smoked weed and it wasn't harsh and it was smooth and it was all
like,
flavor and
what
you're like,
the
wow, this exists. Like this, like shit, like this is real.
Perfectly
First time you ever
pure.
had, he makes dabs like that.
Like all the time.
And the thing is people are
Batch
like,
after
that's
batch.
bullshit. Dabs make you choke regardless. Like it's a concentrate. Like, and that's, you know, it's just kind of part of what it is, you know, and it's like bullshit. We'll show you a way
Maybe
to
the
smoke
hurt's
it
so
that it's
good,
going to get you,
you know?
so high, but you're not going to die.
yeah, like you feel
You're gonna
good
be-
coughing.
you're gonna be fine.
It's like a nice little
Yeah.
easy.
Are you hitting out of a rig or?
Rig.
Yeah, slurper.
Slurper.
Yeah. Inside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They go full
highly
dab mode.
educated with the fucking pillar and
You
fucking,
boys are headier than you look.
Low temp.
that's how we get around without getting fucked with.
Yeah, for real. I want to make it clear that we are not taking hot dabs. That's barbaric. We're coming after hot dabs the same way we, not the podcast, they're dope, but the actual act of hot dabs. We're coming after them the same way we came after fucking ashes and flavor and smoothness and shit. The same charge, bro.
450 to 500 degrees max.
Oh, it depends on the
Yeah, it
fucking
depends on the-
dab
on the-
right
on
or
the
whatever.
re- yeah, the
no
thing.
brown ass oil after your dab, bro. It
Old.
oxidized. It fucked up. Like it chemically altered and it's
Wasted
ruined
to
at that
taste
point,
it.
dude. Like
Yeah.
You guys got to try some. Have you had any elephant's growth hash yet?
No.
I have.
Okay, the homie I'm close with does a lot of his washes. That's
Okay.
that's
So,
how I get his stuff once in a while.
I have like split feedback on that one, and I told him about it because I got the jar. It was like 300. Or 350.
Well, you always have to ask, is this fresh frozen or is this from dry material? Different people make things differently, and then you can, but it all matters. How is it smoking? Something we always talk about.
Yeah, I'll pay for it again if it is what it is.
If you have a meal, right, and it comes out and it's this unbelievable tasting meal, then you're like, what'd they put in this? How'd they make this?
Yeah.
What is this? This is a coal fired. You can taste the coal. If it comes out and it doesn't taste right, you don't give a shit how it was made.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, we braised this for 20 hours. You're like, yeah, it tastes like shit.
Yeah, it tastes like fucking
what do I give a
garbage.
fuck
I don't
about?
care, yeah.
Yeah. So it's just, I also, one thing that always comes up on this podcast with OGs and people who've been in the game that I want to give homage is the black packs, the connected packs.
Yeah.
So many people who have sat there have given homage and shout out to like their upbringing and who they connected with, and just it literally runs a vein through the industry of like the amount of OGs that
it changed a lot of people's times. Like you have to understand, like those times were crazy. I remember them, dude. Like those bags were everything. I don't care who you were. If you had those things, they were gone. It was that simple. Like you know how you get packs? Like, I mean, I'm talking numbers. I'm not talking like grab a couple packs. You know, you get packs and you're like, fuck, all right, now I got to get rid of this. Right. And you're thinking like,
not that you've ever gotten rid of anything.
Yeah.
Just hypothetically.
You get them and you're like, no, these are gone. And I haven't even gotten home with them yet. They're gone. Like that was the cowboy
from 88th
era.
Street.
Yeah, that was the cowboy era, and I'm telling you, like running distro for them was like one of the most, one of the dopest fucking things ever. Like,
that's why I go back to a lot of it has to do with the team.
Yeah.
Because you see great companies and product rise, and then it's almost like a breathing, right? And then you see other people.
Some skin.
Yeah. And people go different places. Growers create their own brands. And next thing you know, you hear Blueprint pop up and Green Dog and all these people that came through that system. It gives a massive shout out. I said the same thing to Mega Wellness, Nameless Genetics, of just down south here, Elephant's Growth. I mean, I don't want to speak for anybody, but so many great growers came through that brand's grows. Yeah. Like they were like, all these guys that I've run into, I'm like, how'd you first start? They're like, oh yeah, Nameless Genetics. I used to work at their grow, or Mega Wellness, or you know, all these people. Yeah. So it's cool to see certain people. Connected was one of them.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, yeah. Connect. I mean, dude, before I got to Connected, I was really just trying to have the biggest variety of shit to choose from. I didn't know what, dude, I was just going. I didn't even know. I was like, frosty, smells good, cool, no seeds. All right, add it to the collection. Just run around and just, show shit. But Connected really taught me, like, dude, if you find the right shit, you could just kick back. Like, if it's really that shit,
it'll all come to you.
You don't have to do shit. You just double the price and kick back. Like, it's just a whole different world, dude.
Yeah,
like, I don't want to be a part of that.
We had a digital menu, and that's all we would do is we would just send our digital menu out. And the second somebody saw that menu, like, in those days, you see that menu, dude, you're like,
when we started, even that's 4,500, right? But when we started in rec, the eighth price was $37 an eighth wholesale.
Crazy.
And check this. So, Sacramento, it's a competitive place to get a dispensary. Caleb's a savage, right? So I'm sure he didn't make a lot of friends, right? I figured that out real quick, dude. I'm going around trying to sell Connected weed, which is like, I started in San Francisco, Sacramento, and Vallejo, which is where Connected stores were. So it was also their competition in the town, selling the most expensive eighth. Bro, that was hard, but I gave him the samples. I was like, just smoke it, please. Just smoke it. Smoked it. Bought. And then they end up buying like fucking legally 6 pounds of strain. People are flying in with med cards, doing all sorts of shit, clearing shit out in a month, dude. It used to be crazy. Even at 37 an eighth, that's like what is that?
I don't even know. It's a lot.
High 80 or $90 eighth
or something
right?
unit.
Yeah.
Out the door, you're in the
100 somewhere out the door. Some places. It's crazy. And it was
like
flying.
7 racks a unit,
and you could still make
7 or 8
money out of town.
Unit.
On top of the Cali tax.
Those are the good old days.
Yeah.
Not me, but just the people
the
anonymously that are showing up.
I'm telling you, those black bags were flying around like crazy.
Yeah. It just speaks to those grows and the guys running them. Same with Kushco. So many great people out there that birth so many great growers these days that are putting out absolute fire. It's been a pleasure to be able to sit down with you guys for real.
Yeah.
Be able to smoke up, talk.
Thank you guys so much for having us.
We're fans of what you guys are up to. Like, we watch, both of us talk about it.
Appreciate you guys.
That, dog. Same. Hell yeah. Well, fucking, we're going to have to get a rematch.
Yes.
Life Sauce wants
Yeah.
it. He wants the smoke.
Oh, I already know he does. Yes.
This permanent market we
He's
smoked
been
today was
wanting me to
fucking
come through the
stupid.
grow, and I've been busy. Now he wants to pick his fight.
He's the most friendly dude.
I know.
The most friendly dude in the
Nate's a
world.
good dude.
Yeah, he's super.
He's just like, yo, bro, and if they beat me, I gotta go buy some zips. You know what I mean? Because fucking I need it.
I'm gonna have
You know what I mean? Like,
what do they call it, the bedroom batch. I'll have that ready for
There you
you,
go.
bro. I'm coming with a 12-ounce glove this time, not a 16. I'm coming with something a little different.
Damn.
That's what's
yeah,
up.
so we'll get that going ASAP, dude. As soon as you get it, let me know. Yeah, we're trying to stir the pot.
It's
with
all
some-
love, man,
you
and
know
that's
what
what
I
I
mean?
like about this is that I like us being able to sit down, talk about brands that are doing well, brands we thought that smoke, brands that aren't, and the friendly competition of like we're all trying to get better.
Yeah.
Any next batch could be the whole game changer.
Yeah.
And that's the crazy thing. So,
Man,
You
keep it
just want
up.
to find good weed. That's it.
Yeah.
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 Thank you guys for coming into LA, man.
Thanks for having us,
fuck
man.
yeah, dude.
Appreciate
Flying right
you.
out of here afterwards, dude.
Yeah.
Appreciate you
In and
guys.
out.
Yep.
All right, man. You already know what it is. First smoke of the day. It's Proper Doinks. We're out. Peace.
Oh shit, I lost the link. Oh, it's right here. If you like this episode, watch more. Click right here. Right here.